Go make sure that audio's there because I keep switching Discord in between using my headset and not, and I only have OBS going through the headset.
Yeah.
Okay, so last session, the group
Dragon Ball Z.
last time on Dragon Ball Z, Goku and his last time you guys had convened in the morning and discussed the black dragon egg in the party's possession, with you making a comment about potentially wanting to hatch it when Smith intervened and explained that black dragons are innately evil and that it would not be in the best interests of the party to even attempt such a thing. After that, the group was, sitting there continuing their discussions when a knock on the door pinged use alarm spell. Griselda then arrived and informed the party that the meeting they would have with the council would be taking place later in the evening. She explained that this is because each of the council members was going to be busy during the day with various jobs and tasks, and that this offered up the opportunity if the players wanted to help with any of those jobs and tasks, in order to build up some positive relations and goodwill with them. Valdi would be rebuilding the fishery, Marigold would be tending to the injured, and Griselda would be performing a patrol around the town. Cephas and Albina joined Valdi at the docks. During the day, the two of them were able to help rebuild portions of the fishery. Albina used her water control spell, like Moses, to split the sea, allowing for the workers and carpenters to get underneath the docks to work on the supports. At one point, a man who was working on the inside one of the buildings was about to be crushed as the building was starting to topple over, but between Cephas and Albina, you were able to stop it from falling onto him. He was able to get out of there, and the workers were able to repair and reinforce that building. At the end of the day, Valdi was very appreciative of the help, and the three of you headed to the council meeting. Smith, Iggy, and Iluna joined Marigold at the temple. While they were there, they were able to assist Marigold with the healing and helping of the injured folks from the attack the day before. You were also able to notice that the people who were on the island, on Idol Island, from the day before all had these small red rings on them. And between the two of you, as the day went by, you were able to figure out that these are reminiscent of squid sucker rings. Smith also realized that very quickly that they could not be dispelled, so he assumed that they must be a curse of some kind. And while Marigold was out, one of the injured men, a man named Thomas, he was complaining that his burning was getting much worse, and he was literally trying to rip his skin off. So Iluna went out to fetch Marigold, and between Smith and Iggy, Smith casting Hold Person, and Iggy using an altered version of Burning Hands to make it ice-themed, they were able to quell this man's desires to kill himself and plunge a dagger into his heart, while Iluna was able to get Marigold back to the temple, at which point Iluna and Marigold made a lotion of sorts out of some base chemicals as well as winter wolf blood to cool the man's body down and to apply a cooling salve to him. It was then revealed that this man was in fact young Glenwell's father, the young boy that had been rescued the day before by you guys. And then after that, the bell had tolled, and so you guys started making your way over to the council hall. Me and you had decided that day that they were going to go join Griselda and Sergeant Yoram for the patrol around Lylon in order to check for entrances and ways that nefarious characters could get into the town. It was during this that Griselda had taken a small portion of the guards down towards the south, whereas Yoram was told to go with me and you and some of the other guards up around to the north. It was up there that, I should also say, Smith, Iggy, and Iluna were able to learn that Marigold practiced more natural aspects of healing, of using potions and poultices and lotions with his healing versus using more magical arcane aspects, which he was referring to as holy miracles. I did want to point that out, and it was also with him that you guys were able to entice him with the aspect of a Dabra coming down, who is an alchemist in her own right. But me and you were able to talk with Yoram and learn that he wanted instead to spend most of his life being a guard in a keep or a castle, somewhere deep within the walls of a town or a big city or a kingdom, where the most of his daily business would just be dealing with a courier here and there, not out here in the field dealing with cultists and monsters and whatnot. But during this during this part of the day, you guys found there was a small path that was leading from the town, kind of going back into the forest. So you are able to follow that path, which eventually led you to a cave. Yoram decided he was going to stand outside as me and you and two other guards ventured in to find out what was in there. It was in there that you were able to find a slew of archery gear as well as alchemical gear. So it was pretty obvious that you had found the lair of the the alchemical archer that had attacked you guys the day before when you first arrived in Lylon. But two letters on the table gave a little bit more insight into who exactly this man was. The first letter reading, "The egg was signaled around the region of the Sword Mountains near the town of Phandalin. All the scouts were killed, but the beacon was triggered. As you are aware, the egg is essential to Ullaron Mortis's plan to revive the mighty Ebondeath. Should you find it, recover the egg at all costs," which seemed to have been written, this was, sent to this person. The other letter that was found, though, that was written presumably by the alchemical archer said, "I believe I found the ones in possession of the egg, a strange group consisting of 2 goblins, 2 elves, a human, an automaton, and a shape changer. During a confrontation with the acolytes of Talos, they descended upon us and wiped them out with little discretion. That night I lay low and rested with them, hoping to gain access to their wares, but a chance was never found. With the severe power they possess, I feel they're likely the ones to have killed the scouting group who signaled the beacon. I followed them to Lylon in hopes of ambushing them, but a group of Talos worshippers stirred up a commotion, and I was unable to down a single one. I'm going to try and use that hat of disguise I recently nabbed to see if I can get a little closer to them." It was as you guys read this and also had pilfered a small bag of coin from one of the crates inside the cave that Lance Spaulding, the archer that you guys had met a few days ago back in the forest, revealed himself to be the arcane archer who then started to attack you guys. With the help of Yoram coming in and keeping the man from running out, you guys were able to stop him. He did unfortunately kill one of the guards, who was later revealed to be Sergeant Yoram's cousin, Bryce. And as you guys were taking this man outside, I believe it was you who casted the Mind Spike spell, killing him, and then you guys dragged his body back.
Yeah, buddy.
Yep. It was then that that Yoram's attitude kind of changed in the moment whenever he sort of steeled his resolve, seeing that, one of the other guards, somebody close to him, had fallen. And he had sent for Griselda to be pulled back to the village. They then took the body back, spoke with Griselda about what happened, and then it was around that time that the meeting was going to commence. So the group headed over to the council hall meeting. You all saw Sergeant Yoram walking through town with Bryce's body held in his arms. The other guards taking the body of the archer out to be disposed of. You guys then went into the council hall meeting, which is that big A-frame building right there. At which point you had sat down and started consulting with the council about the potential of allowing the Phandalinians down here into Lylon. And it was there that through all of your interactions for that day, Marigold and Griselda spoke of no contest, so they were not going to argue. They were going to allow the Phandalinians down there regardless. And through your persuasive comments, as well as discussion about how the food source issue was going to be handled by allowing the archers to hunt the woods to the northeast, that you were able to convince Valdi to allow for the Phandalinians to come down, completing your main task. It was at that point that the young girl who was there, I did not write her name, but I think I had named her Addie. She then had been writing notes for the whole day. What is it? Sadie. Okay. She had been writing up the document and the agreement, also taking the notes. And before we left off, that was also where an unannounced centaur had appeared at the door, talking about a major rager that he thought was going to happen that day, and that made his way off. So that's where we're going to pick up.
Realize it was next week.
Yep.
Lucas.
Yeah.
I forgot. We never added my special arrows yet. Oh well.
Which special arrows? Oh.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah,
as
so
I'm
did
looking
I.
at my character sheet. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out later, as long as we know that I have them.
I know that you have a concussive, entangled, and explosive.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Well, yeah. Oh, shit.
All right, start of the session. Me is still sound asleep in the councilwoman's chair. He kicked up and all.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're basically going to pick up right where we left off with the council meeting just finishing up, and you see that Griselda looks over at Sadie and says, "Now, get that written up. I want that done within the hour because it needs to be officiated." And you see Sadie nods.
All right, y'all. I'm heading out.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Yeah.
Hey, see ya. Have a good
Bye, Aaron. Have fun at your meeting.
Iluna would walk up to Griselda and say, "So, we are extremely grateful that this has been agreed upon, that you'd help Phandalin, and we'll be heading up to them whenever it seems reasonable. When will we learn the details of any sort of agreement, or I presume you'd want to bring some official information to, is her name? Starts with an L. Lenine,
Oh, Lenine
the current
Greywind.
town master.
She looks at you and she nods and says, "Well, if you want to get this done as quickly as possible, then I suggest, as soon as Sadie here is done, go ahead and take the Accord on over to Gallio, and he will get it officiated. He will then be able to send that missive on up to Neverwinter to make it an official pact between the two towns, at which point it'll be officially recognized by the king, or by Lord Neverember and his ruling accord. And from there, you can then take this on over to you say Lenine, whoever is the ruling representative of Phandalin. Take that on over to them. The fine details of everything can be written and agreed upon by the once they come down, when we're able to fully meet in person. This was simply just an accord that was being written to allow for those folks to come down here and integrate into our town without any kind of repercussions. We wanted to make sure, and she gestures to Marigold and Valdi, I wanted to make sure that it was something between all of us that we were able to decide on, as we are the standing council.
Okay, so that was mostly an agreement between all of you.
Between all of
Not
us, between
anything
you
between
as representatives of Phandalin and
Correct.
us as representatives of Lylon, to allow the refugees of Phandalin to come down here and integrate within our town. It's obviously, you can see the economical repercussions of just allowing a town's worth of folks to come and settle into a town that is attempting to be rebuilt. You can see where, there might be issues with that. So wanting to make sure that there's no discrepancies. Unfortunately, I have seen, I've heard of, dwarven clans trying to merge, Battlehammer and Scarshold clans. They tried merging once before, and it just became an all-out bloodbath between the two factions. So I wanted to make sure that nobody here in Lylon was having their toes stepped on, but the Phandalinians were allowed a place. So yes, that is why this meeting was going on. The final details, like I said, will be decided between myself and the Lenine Greywind that you had mentioned, as I imagine she is now speaking as Townmaster, and I, as the initial respondent to the Lord Neverember himself, will be standing in for his accord.
Yes, I believe they are trying to reach out to Neverwinter or Neverember as well, with letting him know what's going on. That's kind of true, isn't it? They would try to send somebody up there.
So when you guys went to
I don't know if they made any official stance, but
when you guys went to Neverwinter, you talked to Lord Neverember about sending guards down to Phandalin, and he was like, yeah, I'll see what I can do, but obviously, bureaucracy, it's going to take a little while before we can get there. So obviously those plans are probably going to change. Jared, did you see that message I sent you?
Somebody from Phandalin.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm looking at it.
Cool.
Someone from Phandalin going up to Neverwinter, explaining things are much worse.
I mean, that's up to you guys if you guys
I feel
want.
like they may have. I don't know if that was actually said by.
That was never discussed. So that's something that you guys would have to go back, whenever you guys go back up there, talk to them. Again, Griselda did just explain that there's somebody here in town that's going to be sending that accord up to Neverwinter. So you might be able to talk to him.
Right. Again, we're just grateful to have seen the need and are able to help. They'll work to benefit the entire town.
Well, that's all I can say. I mean, as long as they're willing to pick up and do what needs done, then I'm perfectly fine with it. I understand the necessity to have these kind of moments.
Is there something that can be generically given to Lenine when I next speak with her? Because I imagine I'd get to them faster than the person going to Neverwinter.
Well, I'm sure that young
How
Sadie, I'm sure that young Sadie over here can draft you up something, either that or she can write up the accord in a duplicate, if you wish. Being that Elibro would be sending one off to Neverwinter.
Yeah, I'm sure Lenine would want to have some idea what might be expected of the Phandalinians
And you see,
before
as
they head on out.
as you say that, you see the young girl that's sitting over there who has been, you know, taking all of these notes for the day. You see she kind of like perks up her head, and oh, yes, I will gladly write that up in duplicate. I can try out my new spell. It is one that I learned from Mr. Gallio himself. Yes, absolutely.
I'd be grateful to have something to give to Lenine to help her understand the direction things will be taken.
A slight snore is heard from me as he's now starting to fall into a deep sleep.
As you're having this conversation, you see Griselda. She nods and she looks over at Marigold and she says, "Marigold, do me a favor. Go and check on Yoram. I understand his relationship with the young boy, but I am wanting to check on I'm wanting to check on him and make sure that he is all right with everything that happened today. I'm not sure how he is going to be, tomorrow." And you see that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Is Marigold right there? Because Luna wanted to speak with him very briefly.
Yeah, he's still there.
Before he rushes off. Were you finished with whatever you were?
Marigold will look over and say, he'll say, "Yes, I will. I can understand the loss of someone that you care about. So I will do what I can in order to help him. Yes."
Luna would grab Marigold's attention with like a wave and say his name.
Mhm.
Before you go, I have a bloom crawler potted plant that I can give to you
Oh,
later when she
yes.
return.
Excellent. Those the berries that it grows will be good in order for us to in order for me to use to keep those that are injured nourished during their treatments.
Yes, I planted a few and gave a couple out, and I've got one left.
Well, I really appreciate that very
I'm
much
more than
so.
happy to let you have it.
And he nods
But
and he
I'll find you later at the temple.
Yes. Um and you as he's walking out, you see Valdi. She kind of stands up. She looks across the room. She says, "Well, I'm going to head out. If my business is not needed, the last thing I really want right now is to be hanging around if Gallio is going to be showing his face. He has been a rather prick recently, and
No.
I would just rather he and I not be in the same room."
No.
and you hear Sadie from across the room as she's sitting over at this like small desk in the corner. You can actually see that as she's sitting there, she's mumbling to herself, and there is a quill on the piece of paper that she does not have. She has her hands to the side of the piece of paper, and you see the quill is moving on its own. And she looks up and she goes, "Hey, don't say that about him. He's a smart wizard, and he's very powerful." You see Griselda looks over and she's like, "Sadie, please." Valdi's like, "Yes, Sadie, please. The man can be a powerful wizard and a prick all at the same time. He's very well skilled, I bet." And with that, you see Valdi just kind of walks out of the room.
You guys keep it down. I'm trying to sleep.
Valdi slams the door.
Man, she's very, very direct in her opinion. He's coming. I'm leaving. I'm not gonna pretend it's for reasons that make sense. It's just anyhow. Iluna would ask Griselda about this Galileo? Galileo. I
Galileo.
don't know what you just called him. Galileo.
You see that she starts to speak up, but it's as you're asking, you see Sadie kind of jumps up. The quill that she was writing with just falls down as her concentration is broken. And she goes, "His name's Galileo Elibro. He's a wizard who's come down here to help rebuild the House of Thalivar, an old ancient mage's spire that holds untapped secrets. You see, he's in the process of rebuilding it, and he is like what I am training to be. He's a scribe. So he's really powerful and really strong, and he knows a lot about magic." And you see Griselda kind of like looks down at her and says, "Sadie, that pact needs to be written tonight and in duplicate. I understand that you're excited, but please go finish your job." And
I appreciate your enthusiasm.
Griselda looks up and she says, "Yes, as Sadie has said, Galileo Libro, he was contracted by Lord Neverember when we first came down here. In fact, he was actually supposed to be the fourth member of the council, myself and Yoram as acting representatives of the guard force in Neverwinter itself, Marigold for the Temple of Lathander that had paid a fair commission to be established here, and Valdi, one of the original settlers of here, housing for the main economy with the fishery. Galileo was supposed to be in charge of the representative of the Mages College down here, but he was not as keen on taking part in the political games, as he would say, wanting to focus on his studies and rebuilding the tower as quickly as possible. But yes, he is a quite powerful mage indeed, and it is he has been pushing himself to no end to try and get that place rebuilt. But he is the scribe of the town, and he is able to send missives back to the kingdom in order for us to communicate with Lord Neverember a little bit more succinctly.
Ah. So he would be communicating faster.
Yes. You see Sadie peeks her head up. She goes, he developed his own spell. I'm trying to learn it.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. It's called Ghostwriter.
What's it do?
It allows you whenever you touch a book, you can speak words and it'll put them right on there. This way your hand
Very
doesn't hurt as
handy
bad.
I imagine. Hopefully you learn it quickly.
I'm trying. I'm gonna use it to do the duplicate one today because once I have this fully written, I'm gonna use it to make the duplicate.
Very appreciative of your efforts.
You see, she gets this big smile on her face.
It's been a pleasure meeting you. Is there? I'm just taking a moment to decide if Iluna wants to meet this wizard dude for any particular. Yes.
I mean,
Just
you guys would
get a
have to.
feel for him and the Huh?
I'll say you guys can take the letter over to him.
Sure. We can wait for the letter. Unless somebody has something else they want to be doing. I mean, me's taking a nap
Yeah.
still.
Well, that was gonna be my question. Is there anything? It's going to take Sadie about an hour to get these fully scribed in order for them to be taken over to Galio. So, is there anything that you guys would like to do in the meantime?
Me would totally want to head to the dock if anybody wishes to wake him up. Actually, he woke up from all the ruckus. He yelled at everybody.
Yeah.
He'll get up, he'll stretch, and be like, well, I'm going to head down to the docks and see my old fishing buddies. Come along, you.
You nods.
That's about it. This is how we're getting Aaron's character away from the group for the time being. And that's where me's going. Anybody tagging along? Anybody stopping him?
No, I'm just trying to, what? He seems to know his way about town, and he definitely
Albina
doesn't
will
take
tag
too
along
much
with you
notice to
guys.
authority.
She
He
kind
only
of just. Hey, me, you. Can I join you guys? As I start running over.
sure, just don't question what's about to be said and or done, and everything will be just dandy.
No, I'm just gonna chill with
Luna's
my
happy to.
meme cat here. Hey, I can even move the water if you need.
Might be necessary. Could be useful to trap enemy ships and raid them. Have you ever thought about becoming a pirate? All three of my chargers are spent, so there is no rat.
Yeah.
I just kind of look up, waiting. Oh, I could have swore. No, it hadn't crossed my mind. But yeah, let's head on over.
Right.
Now we wait for everybody else.
I'll say is so during this Albina, me, and you are heading over to the docks. What is Iluna, Smith, and Cephtus doing in that time?
There's like an hour, so
Mhm.
Iluna might wander back into the oh my god,
Aubrey's
shop.
peculiarity shop.
Yeah, because there's not. What else is there? Just to browse. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
yes.
Is there?
I mean, it's up to you. It's up to you guys what you would like to do. If you want to go,
I don't know where else there is to.
And as I'm leaving, I'm gonna
go
just yell over to Iggy. You want to go with me or Smith?
Hey Smith, what is Smith doing during this hour? Your mic is muted.
And that's why you didn't hear me say I was going to the docks with them.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
What the heck, Smith?
So
We're all going. We're all going.
So-
the goblin,
so
Smith, and I'll be there.
Iggy and Smith are gonna head down there with them. Seftis, where are you gonna go?
He's probably just gonna wander around in general, just surveying the area and stuff, see if anybody needs any help lifting or shifting anything. He's
Okay.
feeling amiable at the moment.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I mean the thing is right now in town, there's not really that many kind of standout places. Obviously there's the town square, which at this time of day, most of the vendors, if any had shown up, would be packing up since the sun is going down. The Shrine of Lathander is going to be mostly settling down, trying to keep everybody calm for the night. The fishery is at this time mostly just going to be people putting away their gear and all that. The barge yard, kind of the same thing, just people over there putting the boats away, trying to get everything ready for the next day in order to start moving stuff out. So with the fact that the town is still in the process of being rebuilt, there's not much craziness going on in town. I just didn't know if you guys wanted to go out into the woods, if you guys wanted to go explore around the area, see if there was anything you wanted to do. So if that's the case, and we're going to have Seftis going about the town.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was getting at. I cannot find a map of Lylon.
Of
Scroll up.
Lylon? It's
On the WebSocket.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't see it. What?
Yeah, it's also in
Oh,
it was also
is
in
not working. I
the
don't know
the window.
Refresh the page. Sometimes it glitches.
But there, I put it up in
why.
I put it up in the chat. So, like I said, you got the House of Thalavar, the Peculiarity Shop, the Town Square, the Shrine of Lathander, the Fishery, the Barge Yard, and Idle Island. The Settlers Camp, which is down to the right, that is mostly just where, like the people who are still in the process of rebuilding houses and buildings, that's just kind of like where they camp out for the evenings.
Well, I guess it was similar vein to Seftis of sort of wandering around but heading back to that shop and making sure she gets to Lathander's shrine to see if Marigold's come back and give him the bloom crawler thing.
So wait, are you heading over to the Peculiarity Shop, or are you heading over to give Marigold that bloom crawler?
Well, he won't be back at the shrine, so she just go wandering to the shop first.
Okay.
I mean, unless he'd be back. It's been like 2 minutes, so I didn't imagine he'd be back. She'll give herself some time for him to get back there.
All right. Okay.
No one needs to spend an hour in a peculiarities shop. Yeah, I'll never learn to say that word.
Peculiarities.
Okay. I'm glad you can say it. I don't know. I stumble all over it.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So we will we'll go over to the docks first. Y'all start making your way over to the fishery. Albina, me, you, Smith, and Iggy As you're walking through town, like I said, the sun has started to creep behind the horizon. It's getting fairly closer to dark now. A lot of the people are starting to make their way from their daily jobs of building and stuff over to the town square where they're going to head to the inn. As you guys are starting to make your way through, you see ahead of you there is a group of kids that's playing. There's about like 6 or 7 of them. They are acting like cats and dogs chasing one another. And
Right.
as you're all going through, as you're all moving through, they all kind of like crowd around you, and they start to like bark and meow at all of you. They're just like they see your group moving up, and they're just like woof, 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 woof.
Furries.
You know, I used to have quite a few dog and cat pelts on my ship back in the day.
You hear a couple of them like whimper and start to run off.
That's right. Scram, you damn kids, before you get yourselves in more trouble.
All right, let me see. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, so with that, you guys make your way over to the docks. At this point, you can see that most of the fishers and everybody has gone home, or at least gone to the tavern for the night. It's fairly quiet over there, but there is still a few people there. Some of the guards and the night workers that are, gathering up the supplies for the day. They're kind of down there, and when they see Seftis and when they see Albina coming over, you actually hear the one go, "Hey, look at that! It's the fiery redhead, the one who saved Jackson today." And he gives a wave and he says, "Thanks for that. That was a good catch on you and the big guy."
And then they see me and they all just collectively groan.
Hey guys, thanks. Yeah, no problem. We appreciate your recognition, but really, all in a day's work.
Well, it's always a good day, and then if you're going to be down around here, I'll say this town needs some more people like you, people that are willing to help. We've been slogging along, but it's just, with the whole fact that that Neverwinter finally recognized us, the fact that we were able to get some of you folks down here, it's just it's starting to get a little bit better, I'd say.
Glad to hear it.
All right.
I was going to say, as this is going on, as they're having this conversation, me kind of wants to break away from the group almost stealthily, like from the group of his companions.
Me and you.
Because
I'm going.
I don't know about you. I might leave you to be backup just to bullshit his way going, "Oh yeah, me had to go take a piss," or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Because me's going to try breaking away from the group because he wants to go check out the smuggler's den, see if anything else was left, and see what he can.
Yeah.
Take off.
Yeah, that's fine. Leave him.
I can roll stealth.
Yeah. That was going to be my question. Roll.
I have advantage.
Yeah, roll some stealth checks there, my boy.
23.
Okay, yeah, so that's gonna pass everyone's passive. Okay, what level are you guys? You guys are level 8 at this point. Cool.
What is it that we would need to know? What would be our perception?
Your passive perception is 10 plus your perception modifier. So Albina's and Smith and Yu's are all 14. So, because over on my side of things, I can I can actually see them all on a different menu that I have up, which is very convenient because I needed that. I needed that when all those kids were standing around you. So, yeah, so funny, so funny. Check your fucking coin purses. But
What do you think? What do you think? Me went ahead and threatened them. He knew. Me knew.
What the hell happened?
See, you all stayed silent, and me threatened threatened the kids.
Where were those kids? I don't even think I was near them. I thought I was sitting up on top of a roof.
No, these were the ones that as you guys were walking through
Ones that were
town.
barking and meowing.
Yeah, the ones that were barking and meowing.
I don't even remember that. I must
Yeah.
have been really tired
You're
that
supposed
day.
to stay away from furries.
No, this was literally just
Yeah.
now, like
Yeah,
5 minutes ago.
Yeah, this was 5 seconds ago, pretty much. As you guys were walking through town, there was all the
didn't
kids
even
that were like
realize.
barking and yelping and stuff like that.
Because you made the comment about, or somebody made the comment about them being a bunch of furries, because that's whenever me looked at them and said, I
did.
used to have a bunch of cat and dog pelts on my ship, and they all scattered away from me,
Did you
saving
say
my money,
kids?
maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
children.
they were kids.
I thought you said kittens.
No.
I
They
didn't even hear kids either.
they were here. Hold on. Let me bring this back up.
How much did we lose?
None of you are even aware that anything has happened, so don't even worry about it. It says, this is what I ran. There is 8 kids playing with each other. They act like animals and run around. Cats chasing dogs.
Oh, you said kittens too. That's why I was like.
No, I said kids. So you may have just been how my voice came over. But
that's why I wasn't really paying. I'm like, when did you say there were children around this?
Yeah, no,
that was
they all came up and started barking and meowing at you guys. So that was just like a few minutes ago. So like I said, they all just kind of ran off after me scared them.
Okay.
But being that it was fairly late at night, and the sun was going down, it's kind of hard to make any of them out. But yeah, with a 23 in stealth, we will say that me is able to separate from the group. The others, I imagine, maybe you guys making small talk with the folks here at the docks.
Yeah.
Smith
Sounds
and
good.
Abina. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So, you slip away from the rest of the group, and
How long before we realize he's gone missing?
Well, it's I'm gonna say it's gonna be a
Came
couple.
along. We came here to kind of tag along with him, didn't we?
Yeah, that's why I was wondering how.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
we
know
wouldn't notice
how
him.
it doesn't notice. Yeah.
Well,
As soon as the small talk started, that's when me snuck around and had you basically be the cover man for him. So if you guys start noticing, you're just gonna cover by saying me went to take a piss or whatever.
Yeah, so me's like, hey, I gotta go take a leak. And he scoots off, and slips away out underneath the docks. I mean, with a 23, stealth, we will say after a couple minutes though, you guys would notice that he is gone, and you could make active perception checks to see if you can figure out where he went. And then that will also be contested against a deception check that I'm going to roll for you.
Okay.
So yeah, if both of you want to roll those perception checks now, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I'll roll.
Because there will be a part for me going down into there. So yeah,
we did tell him don't question what he's going to do if they're tagging along.
Yeah, that's true. I imagine that's probably why Smith is going.
That you're doing. We're just like.
I can only imagine that after that comment, that's the whole reason why Smith is going.
I wasn't going to question what you're doing. I want to be there for it.
So you slip your way underneath the docks of me, and as you start to make your way down underneath, you find the opening that leads into this small smuggler's den. As I kind of described before, where the water meets, there's a small opening that's covered by some seaweed and some rocks right here on where the shore meets. and it's dug out underneath, and it kind of leads up inside, pretty much underneath this dock area that's a little bit higher up behind the fishery. And as you swim up into it, it's this reinforced kind of cave that's under there, and you can see that it's been mostly
a madman in the bird brain left anything worth value.
Yeah, you can see that it's mostly been cleared out. Obviously, there are some more permanent structures in here. There is a chest that is left behind that is kind of like the smuggler's code of leaving something here for the next group of people. And as you check it out, what you actually find in here is 3 items. So you find a staff that has bird carvings etched into the whole thing. You find a you find a pair of gloves, and on top of that you also find let me see here, because I had another one pulled up but I just lost it. Yeah, you also find a small horn, like one that could be pressed up against your ear.
Now that would definitely help me out worthwhile. I'll go ahead and I'll take out the hat of disguise, dust it off, put that in the chest, and I'll take the horn.
Okay.
And is there like a small wooden table in here or something like that?
Yeah, we'll say that there's like a small table, a couple chairs and whatnot.
As he's walking out, he'll just kind of etch his insignia or what his old crew's insignia used to be on the table to mark it that he's been here, and he's not claiming it, but just noting, hey,
Yeah.
I frequent this place.
Yeah. We'll say that there's definitely like a slew of symbols on there that most people whenever you go in and out, you kind of leave your marking. So you took, go ahead and add to your inventory. Now, obviously, me would not know what this thing does right now, but go ahead and add to your inventory the ear horn of hearing.
Yeah, he'll ask you whenever he gets back as you use the magical one.
All right, so we'll say that it's been a couple minutes. Me has been gone, and we'll say at this point, Smith and Albina, you guys realize that me's been gone for a little bit longer than it takes to take a leak, especially since you guys are like right on the docks, and he was probably just pissing right into the ocean.
I'm just gonna look over at Smith and be like, you think something happened to him? I'm just looking around.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what are we even doing here?
You speaks up, and he tries to pass it off as you guys were just coming down to get some fresh air and to just kind of bring. He's like we were just coming down to get some fresh air to talk to some of the dock folk. We're seafaring people ourselves, and these are our people, and you guys were welcome to join us, but we just wanted to come down and relax for a little bit. And albeit you're not buying it, not in the slightest. And Smith, you're also like, or you know what, actually the two of you roll me insight. Sorry.
Okay.
I was looking at your perceptions and I was going it based on that.
Yeah.
I have a 24 passive insight.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Of course. Wow. I did not get that.
And just keep in mind, I mean, for this one, I will, so Smith would instead have an 11. Albina, you would have a 14. Unfortunately, that does not beat that. You guys are listening to you say this, and it's just kind of like, all right, we don't really know too much about these guys yet. This just might be how they are, and maybe it was just as simple as they wanted to come down here to get some air and just be as simple as that, because as you guys are having these thoughts, and you're kind of looking at one another with raised eyebrows, there's me. He's you hear him like splapping through the water, coming back up to the group.
Oh, I was all wondering where you were there. Thought you were gonna do something exciting. I wanted to tag along.
Nothing too exciting. I just went for a leak and found this in the sand in the water, and I'll hold up the ear horn of hearing. Anybody knows what it is? Thought it was a drinking horn, but I don't think it's quite that.
Smith, you know what that is? I'm not too familiar with those kind of things.
What's he saying about the drinking horn? He starts pouring seawater out of it.
I was gonna say, just straight up pours like ocean water out of it.
Do I know what it is? I'm assuming I don't know what it is at a first glance.
Not at first glance, but you can go ahead and give me an Arcana check if you want to use your goggles. So there's not that many horns out there, in the world like this. And as you're looking at it, you're kind of having this thought, because of the way that it looks, that it's meant more to be held up to the ear rather than to be blown into because of the shape. And that kind of gives you credence as you're recalling this information, that there's really only one that you can think of. And while you don't know what it's called off the top of your head, you've heard that it'll still allow you to hear even if you're deafened.
Okay, I'll explain that to him. And would there be any further information I would gather from using Identify on it?
So if you wanted to use Identify, you would just know specifically what it is called, and that it's like you pretty much got everything out of it that you could. It's just you just don't know what specifically it's called.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I'll just explain then basically what it is then.
Okay. Yeah, because while there's, you kind of have this thought, you might even be thinking out loud this, or you might just be having this thought process in your head, and you're like, well, there's the horn of blasting, there's the horn of silent alarm, there's the horn of the endless maze, but even all of those are meant to be blown into, whereas this one is designed to be held up to the ear. So this has to be that one that stops you from being deafened.
Uh-huh.
Interesting find in my book, then.
Yeah. Where'd you say you found this?
I was down in the water. I'm surprised. Redhead here didn't find it when she split the ocean, from what I heard.
We could do it again. I look over.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Let's go over to where you found this and split the water. Do you go ahead and put this away?
Yep.
Okay. As you're putting this away into your bag, you realize that one of your daggers is missing.
Those goddamn
Kids.
kids. I knew it.
Go ahead and remove one of those daggers.
Is he saying that out loud, or are you saying that in character, or no?
I very much say that in character and out loud. I knew those damn kids were up to something. Oh, the kids robbed us. You guys might want to check your bags.
Oh, Almina's just gonna start like reaching, looking for her Mimcat. Rafa, uh,
You see Rafa in there. Rafa kind of has this look on her. As you look into the bag, it almost appears as if there's literally nothing in there, only to realize that Rafa has like disguised herself as the opening of the bag to make it appear as if there's nothing in there. Because as the kids tried to reach their hands into it, you might imagine that she like freaked out and like poofed herself out to protect your inventory.
you okay, girl? And I get her out and I just love her. Anyone got a snack I can give? Anyone have any food? I don't think I have any more snacks for Rafa. Throw her in the water and let her get a fish. Just kidding. Just kidding.
All I remember, Lucas, is our conversation of having a bag of holding and a bag of devouring for pickpockets to put
Oh
their hands in.
yeah. Keeping a bag of holding inside of your clothing, and keeping a bag of devouring on the outside for pickpockets.
What? I want
Yep.
one of those. Where do we get that bag?
Bag of devourings are very, very rare. Or they're not very rare, but
Okay.
they're rare items.
Can I
So.
search my belongings?
Nice.
Yeah. You are able to check your belongings as well. While you don't see any particular, anything very specific missing, you where do you have that? Let me see here. After a couple minutes of searching, where did I have it here? Yeah, you open up your coin pouch. You give yourself like a quick recount. You realize that these kids stole 5 gold off of you.
Oof.
So go ahead and
Wow.
reduce your weight, your coinage by 5 gold. And we are going to go over to Yu's character sheet, and Yu has also had a dagger stolen.
Oh,
And-
I'll ask Albina, did they get anything important?
And I'm just gonna pull out Rafa and hold her. Thanks to this little one, no.
And while this is all going on, me will look at the fisherman and be like, if I don't have my dagger back by the end from one of your guys' kids, I can make what those cultists did here look like an accident, or I can make sure that your ships can't sail again. And we know I'm not lying.
They look over at you, and the one says, "Hey, what the?" He's like, "Why are you threatening us? They're not our kids. You think we'd be out here working the night crew if we had children at home? Please."
I just put my hand on her shoulder. Hey, maybe we can find their parent. Do you know who their parents are? I just yell over.
Hold on, how long ago was this?
I don't got a fucking clue. If you want to talk, if you want to talk to anyone, talk to the cleric over there, Mr. Marigold. He's the one who keeps an eye on the kids during the day.
And that's why me just goes, yes, but all of you fishermen are tied together. I mean, I can just go ahead and take my original fisherman tax like I used to in the old days.
And they just kind of look over at you, and they give you this angry look, and they're like, "Hey, we don't really need this kind of shit on us today, especially not after what happened." He's like, "I get." He's like, "It's not our fault, you know. You want to talk to Mr. Marigold about that? Be my guest. You want to go talk to Valdi about whatever's gone missing? Be my guest. Don't put it on our shoulders."
No, I'm just saying, I'm a reasonable businessman like you guys. It would only be enough to pay for a new dagger.
He's like, hey, how the fuck do you even know that those kids belong to any of the fishermen out here? You don't know that. You don't know a single one of them. He's like, I can barely see 5 feet in front of my face right now. And as he says that, you hear one of the other fishers goes, "That's because you're already 3 sheets to the wind."
Me will just yell back, yeah, and trust me, he won't be any better as age gets to him more.
Maybe we should talk to Marigold.
I agree.
Also, Lucas, I'd like to point out, I would have seen what those kids look like. I have dark vision.
You do have dark vision.
How long
and-
ago was this?
What's that?
How long ago did this happen?
Like maybe about 5-10 minutes ago.
Like, I think we can still probably track him down.
Me will go ahead and whisper into Smith's ear. Yes, but it's more fun to get the fishermen riled up because once they're angry, they'll actually do their work faster in a pissed off fashion.
Yeah, how does that benefit us?
It
Smith's like,
benefits us.
as Smith like holds up his bag, he's like, "Money missing, me angry Smith."
Me looks.
I don't even care about the money. It's just
I'll look at
Okay.
Smith and be like,
I don't
"Oh,
see
get
what
the
these
town.
fishermen have to do with anything.
It'll
We
get
are
the
just
town built
people. We
faster.
can't do this.
It will get the town built faster, the docks built faster, so the Phandalin people up north that you guys were so hell-bent on getting down to my town will have places to go."
Gotcha. Well, we can. Yeah, you take it easy with the fishermen, but go ahead and talk to them, Smith. Let's go find those kids.
All right. So we will momentarily cut back to Iluna and Cephtus. As you guys are walking about the town, you're just kind of taking in everything as you're heading up around, and you start to hear the sound of a kid crying. You're, kind of looking around, trying to see where this noise is coming. And as you guys walk down the street, you see that a little boy dressed in rags, he has tears like falling from his face like a waterfall. And you see that there's a woman in front of him that is pulling a pig on a rope up to a building that you can see is one of the only like established buildings here, but it even is still in disrepair. But you can see on the front a hastily written sign. This is clearly the butcher house. And you hear this kid crying his eyes out. He's like, "No, please don't. It's my friend. And you hear the woman, she shouts back at him. She's like, calm down. It's only a pig, and we need the money and the food. Now enough."
Wait, who is seeing this? I'm sorry.
This is Iluna and Cephtus seeing this.
Oh, okay.
And he says, "No, please, no!" As the mother is dragging the pig up to the slaughterhouse.
I guess Iluna would cautiously walk up and I don't even know.
You guys don't have to do anything. You guys can just ignore it if you wanted to. I'm just saying this is a thing. This is just a thing that you're seeing.
I don't know. I feel like Iluna would have slaughtered plenty of animals at this point. That's exactly what they're for. And telling a parent how to raise their children really isn't her place.
Make it her place. No, I'm just
Mind her
kidding.
own business.
No, that's why I had to clarify because I was
'Cause
like,
in
wait,
the end-
Alpina's gonna try to help this kid.
Because, I mean, the kid's upset, but
Yeah.
Iluna eats animals, and the worst she would say is, I don't know,
Get over your fucking self.
gotta eat.
It's just a fucking pig.
Oh,
It's sad.
I
Here,
can't
pet
picture
my
her doing
blue
that.
collar. You want a pet rat? She's the ranger.
She
Wait, wait,
because
Do you
no,
do you
But
go?
no,
the way
but
you
she
are with
doesn't.
Maggie.
Mother,
Mm.
she's in. Oh, she's just Maggie is left alone and lost years of her life. This
I gotcha.
child is with his mother, and he's just throwing a tantrum because his mom's doing something he doesn't want him to do.
It's like Charlotte's Web in the pig.
It's not.
Bina would have
Iluna didn't
it
read
would have
that
caught her eye
story.
if she saw a child crying. That's all.
What does Cephas do
Yeah,
whenever
she's
he
concerned
sees
about the
this?
child, but
Or is Cephas just like very, passive about the scene you're watching?
I guess I'll walk over to the kid.
You see,
Why
as
are you crying?
as you say that, you see the mom kind of like stops, still has the pig, but like goes and positions herself next to him, like not realizing who you are. And the kid looks up. He's kind of frightened a little bit, stumbles back, and the mom looks kind of like tries to stand it in between you and him, and she says, sorry, he is just upset that we are having to sell off the pig that he stole because our family needs the money and the food. I am sorry. Who are you? As she says to Cephas.
I am Sept. He bends down and looks the kid in the face. Respect your mother. Respect her decisions.
And he's just like, okay. But it's my pig. And you see that like tears start just coming down his face, and she looks back, and she says, look, I am sick of this. It's like, you stole this pig off of a farmer years ago. I told you that you were not going to be able to keep it once it got old enough. And she, now that you're like on her side, she like gestures to Cephas, and she says, and this man is correct. You should be listening to your mother. You should respect me. And he says, but I'm going to miss Squeaks. And she says, well, I'm sure that I'm sure that if you're
excellent barbecue.
what?
What did he say?
The mother nods, and she says, and if you're anything like your father, then I'm sure you will just go and wrangle up another one in a few days anyway, considering both of you have fingers like glue.
Is there any sort of collar on this pig?
Other than just like the rope that's being, used to drag this thing to the butcher house. No.
Oh.
Oh. I think Iluna would tap Cephas on the shoulder and say, I think you've helped enough. and just lean down at the kid and say, it's the cycle of life. It's sad, but it's how it goes.
But it doesn't have to be. I mean, we can keep Squeaks. We can sell other things. We can make money other ways, and we can make other food. We can fish for food. Fish are food. We don't have to eat Squeaks though. And you see the mother. She says,
I think your mother knows best.
She says, Tobias, enough. I won't hear another word about this.
Tobias?
Yeah, does that mean something to you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking Matthias.
Matthias.
There wasn't.
Sorry. I'm like,
I feel like
who's that?
Tobias.
Tobias.
Too, but that's unimportant. It's a popular name.
Yeah, she says.
Septis will say one more thing to the little kid.
Okay.
Remember, crime doesn't pay. unless you do it correctly.
You see,
Spoken like me.
you see that as you say crime doesn't pay, you see the mother's like, and then the moment he says unless you do it the right way, she's like, oh, well, that was a good sentiment to start. Tobias, please, go home. Please, just go home. I do not want this to be any harder on you than it already is. You do not need to be here for this. Just stay there. Maybe, if you're lucky, you and your father can go out fishing in the morning, and maybe you will maybe if you catch a fish, you can go and get a bowl and put it in there, and that'll be your friend for a week until we decide that it is going to be dinner. Okay? And with
Fish are
that,
delicious also.
Maybe you need a
Yes.
pet rock. Get a pet rock.
the mother says, yes, a pet rock would do you well because they just don't die. They live forever.
Forever.
And you see the kid just like tears streaming down his face. He just runs off into the town. And you see the mother as, she still has this pig. She says, well, thank you for at least try helping to explain to him the way things have to be. I apologize for for his crying and utterances.
Yeah. I apologize for interrupting.
Oh,
Is it Septis?
Oh, it's quite all right. As much as I hate doing this to the boy's pet, he was told the day he brought that thing home that this would be the fate one day, and time is not fun for anyone. For those of us on this mortal coil, as she walks away, not realizing she's talking to an elf who will literally live forever, and an automaton who, again, will also literally live forever.
Life is fleeting for many, but that's Iluna's thing.
Yeah.
So she'll feel forlorn about that.
As you see her
I'm trying.
as you see her walk into the door of this place, and you hear the door shut, and then you guys make on your way, and we'll yeah, you guys you just hear a voice from inside that says, "Hey, evening, Nella. What'd you bring me today?" And then the door shuts.
No. Are we... Septis, where are you heading? Do you want to come with me to this cool ass shop? It starts with a P, but I can't say it.
Could just call it Aubrey's, because that's what it's called.
That's what I typically call
The shop sounds shrouded in mystery.
Aubrey's shop. It's rather particular. Anyhow, I got this little sprite from it, and I'm considering offering some of the items our party's collected and we're not using.
Hey Lucas, I just want you to know I just sent you what is essentially going through me's head this entire time. I sent it in
Yeah,
DMs
I got
for
you. I got you.
I like how I like how it's the oil red paint too, like he's physically holding a map doing this.
Physically holding a map, writing Metopia.
Yes, he is.
God.
Oh.
All right. So is Septis joining over to the peculiarity shop?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. Cool. So we will quickly cut back to the others. So I'm gonna move your characters just so you guys are on top of where you're supposed to be. So yeah, we'll cut back to the others. The five of you are down here at the docks. You've just realized that some of your items have been pilfered. What are you guys doing from there? Smith, Albina, and me.
I'm just gonna go over to me and be close and just be like, "That all you really found over there? What were you? You went swimming and you found that?" Trying to peek and see what he got
J-
there. It is me, right? Not you.
Jared? Is Jared still here?
Oh.
Hold on. Oh. Oh, well, that's Stacy's camera. Where the fuck is he?
He is. But
You just spoke
so
seconds before you said let's switch over.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. That's why I'm like really confused. Hold on.
I can fly and go after him a little faster, maybe. Try to track
yeah,
him down
well,
from the sky.
you want me to help you get that money back, Smith? Iggy in.
Uh. Yeah, we should try to track those kids down somehow. But
And
unless you think that.
no hurting
What?
them, no fireballs for the kids. If you want to burn some trees down or something in their path, that's fine. But you know how I am with the children. No pain or anything like that. Because for you too, Iggy, I look over. Tell him in Goblin.
Iggy nods.
Well, me, it's just you and me. We're gonna head over and get those kids if you're not interested
Where the fuck did Jared
in
go?
getting your dagger. Can you disconnect him and then reconnect?
I mean,
no, you can't reconnect him, but you can
the-
disconnect him.
The thing is I'm literally trying to call him on Messenger. And he's not answering.
He doesn't have like any kind of illness that he like passes out or anything, right?
No.
Okay, good. He's in hypoglycemic shock, passed out. But we're good then.
But it's not. I mean, that's the thing. It's like if it was like Smith whose mic was off, obviously we would get that. And I hate to say it, if it was Steve or Stacy, it could have just be that their internet went down, because that happens unfortunately. But
What's it? I missed something here.
where the fuck did you go?
Yeah.
Wake up,
Really?
man.
I didn't really go anywhere. Literally, what happened was all of my stuff crashed at once, but it said I was still in call, and I couldn't get it back up and running. Something ran, and it just crashed my entire.
Holy
It crashed
shit.
everything.
I tried calling you on Messenger, because like you don't normally dip without without messaging somebody, so I was like, what happened?
No, that's what happened. I didn't hear my phone because my phone's on vibrate and I have it plugged in across over there
Jesus
next
Christ.
to the bed. But no, that was it. Everything just crashed, and I'm like, what the hell? And I was trying to get it back up and running. What I missed.
Basically.
Yeah, we're just.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
good,
go ahead.
good. No, good. You're good. You're in the scene.
Well, I was just saying to me, is that all you found? Really? You were just taking a swim after you stepped away, and then I was waiting for your response, and I said, "Well, Smith, are you ready to go get those kids and your money?" But no fireballing the kids. You can fireball the surroundings, and that goes for you too, Iggy.
Me will be like, I mean, once you're a man of the sea, you're kind of always a man of the sea. It's bountiful, full and don't fireball them too much. I wouldn't say no fireball altogether, but see what it brings.
We'll keep the children alive and in one piece.
I'm
We'll
gonna
get you your
suggest-
dagger back. Your daggers, me and you.
Is that dagger important to you?
What? No, not
I
at all.
presume that dagger.
Absolutely not. He pulls out a second dagger and sticks and twirls it around in his hand. I have multiple.
Well, if
Nonetheless,
no one really lost anything important, then do we really need to track these kids down? Or did someone lose something important?
No, nobody lost anything.
oh no, I
me-
thought you wanted to get your money. I'm sorry.
Me and you lost a dagger each, and Smith lost 5 gold.
I'm okay losing that 5 gold, frankly.
5
Okay.
gold.
Happy
That's
about
a lot of
that.
money.
I thought that me and you were really wanting their daggers. That's why I was like, well, if we want
I
to get your
presumed
money
that as
too.
well.
Oh no.
Yeah, never mind.
Me was just harassing the
pretend like
fishermen.
none of that conversation ever happened, other than me asking about stuff he found in the water.
Me
Because
was just harassing the fishermen because he can.
yeah, because Aaron is not here, you is being a conscientious objector right now, so.
Speaking of which, I gotta message Aaron and see if I can make a cannon with his maps that he has of everywhere. If Me's just stole that map and is slowly making altercations to it.
Oh no, he doesn't have a map for this, but that is a map that that I will be editing shortly enough. Okay. So then if you guys are good there, is there anything else that or is there anywhere else that you guys would like to go for the remaining, we'll say like 45 minutes?
Let me see.
Like I said, there's there's the shrine, there's the town square, which would mostly just be the inn. There's the island. There's you guys can also head over to the peculiarity shop if you wanted to. There's the barge yard. You guys can just go and if you want to go and just kind of explore around the outskirts of town. Or if you wanted to head down to the sea, if Albina is that interested, to see if there's anything that might wash up on shore now that me is planting those seeds. But that's up to you guys.
Why can't I see the water spell anymore?
What, control water?
Yeah, where the heck did it go?
Mm,
Oh, there it is. It's
Yeah,
my
no,
fourth,
so
the
it's right
first fourth level.
Yep.
Yeah, we have. What time is it in game?
In game right now, it is roughly like 7:15. So the paper will be done. The paper will be done around 8:00.
Okay.
So at which point you guys?
between 6 and 7 then.
Or wait, am I reading that wrong? Oh yeah, sorry. No, I was reading that wrong. My bad. No,
Well, I
it
thought
is.
we.
Yeah, the
Me would
meeting.
be going
Well,
to
no.
the tavern. Me would be going to the tavern to rest more fishermen and get a drink or two.
Okay. Yeah, because the meeting took place at 6:00. And then the meeting was about a half an hour. So, and it was shortly after that there was a little bit of conversation. Oh yeah, that's kind of why I had it in my head where you guys were, because I was kind of putting it about 7:00, was when you guys walked out of there,
Sure.
I will say to Smith and Iggy, well, since we're not going after those kids, you guys want to go look at the shop and see if there's anything good in there? Since
That's
me and
exactly
you
what I was
apparently
thinking.
have nothing exciting to show us.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
There's nothing exciting to show you quite yet, darling. There's a thing called trust. I trust you guys to keep me alive, but some of the secrets I'd like to keep close.
Can't blame a girl for being curious. I just shrug, and then I walk
Here-
over with it.
Curiosity killed the cat as he gestures towards the meme cat or the mimic cat.
Oh snap!
I just clear my throat because I'm like, I'm better off not being enemies with him.
All right.
Come on,
So-
Rafa. You did well.
So we will we will start to move Hannah and Smith and Iggy up to the Peculiarity Shop as well. Me and you guys are going to head over to the taverns to kind of rest, relax, and drink. And me, as you are, as me and you are walking through town, you see this woman walking towards you two. She has a bandage over her eyes, and she's carrying a small box that has what looks to be like flowers and small like alms. I don't know if you guys like, you know, kind of like you know, small offerings like that, like, you know, bits and pieces of money, food, other material goods. She has this box, and you can see she's walking through town. She has it outstretched in her hands. She has this bandage completely covering her eyes. And as she is mere feet in front of the two of you, she stops and she says, "Alms for the poor, me?"
Me slowly tilts his head and he goes, "For a blind woman, you were able to stop before he even reached us. And you can't really say that you heard us. You might have heard him, but
She says, "Well, you never forget the smell of the man who made you lose their sight."
tilts his head the other way and he goes, "5 years ago. That wasn't my doing. You can't pin that on me."
She says, "Well, I have learned to forgive. It was good seeing you, though." And she then starts, like, walking away, like, in between you and me.
Look back and I'll be like, "Hold on a minute." And then he'll go ahead, take the box out of her hands, put it down on the ground, take her hand, put 2 solid gold pieces in it, and goes, "If this wizard is as good as they claim he is, go get your freaking eyesight back. Or go ahead and do something more useful than begging and everything else. It's bad for show."
So
And maybe
you're giving her 2 gold?
yes, I'm giving her 2 gold.
Okay.
As I'm literally telling her all
Yeah.
of this. It's gonna be like, it's not my fault that all because you stuck your nose where it shouldn't have been, which I guess now you can't really see where the hideaway is. That wasn't my fault.
She says, "Yes, well, you know, those years ago when I was waiting for that medicine, it was unfortunate that you and your crew had found their way to our town, and by your clumsiness, the medicine broke and I lost my eyesight. But again, I have learned to forgive." And she bites down onto the coins that you gave her, and she says, "I appreciate this. This will go towards some help in that regard."
And then maybe if you ever decide to see again or stay blind, I might have a business proposition for you. Can always use somebody to mop up a building or two.
I can't thank you enough for the gracious job opportunity. And you see,
You just
she takes the 2 coins and she grabs the box that's her alms box on the ground, puts them in there, and she starts walking away. And that's when she says, "By the way, you may want to take a bath."
nah. The seawater is what normally cleans us.
Ah, yes. Nothing better scented than a salty sea goblin.
Yeah, and nothing like a sight for sore eyes. Ooh, so sorry. And that I'll be seeing
Mother
you,
was
and
a
you'll
tough
be
lad.
smelling me.
I'll see you. I'll smell you later. All right. Okay, so we will say that Iluna and Seftis have arrived at the Peculiarity Shop. A few minutes before the others have. So as the two of you walk in, you guys are greeted. Like I said, it is a little bit later at night, but there is still some business going on. You see this man as you walk in. He's a well-dressed man who has dark hair with some silver aspects to it and a fine, thin mustache. And as the two of you walk in, you hear his voice kind of ring out, and he says, "Oh, greetings, greetings!" And he turns around to see Iluna and Seftis standing there, and he goes, "Oh, darling, darling, I am so glad you have come back. And I see you have brought a finely crafted friend of yours."
Change of plans. I want to be wherever they are so I can stab this man.
He's way too excited. She'll try to greet him cheerily, but she's never gonna match that and say, "Ah, yes, I've brought a friend. This is Seftis. We were wandering about town, and I asked if you wanted to join me and see what else you might have in your shop. I might have items that could interest you as well."
Oh, holding out on me in the first round, I
Hey.
see. I like it.
The
Well,
first thing I'm doing when I open my
wouldn't call
black
it
market is
holding
I'm
out.
running this man out of town.
Oh no!
That's the first thing I'm
Apparently,
doing.
it's a contact of Never Ember, so I don't think that's going to be simple.
Either he's going to be so far into the black market that I don't have to ever see him, or I'm running him out of town with my market. There's no in-betweens.
Okay.
And he, as you're saying this, he says, well, what can I interest you? My inventory, unfortunately, has not changed much from yesterday. As Iluna, you can see most of what you saw yesterday is still there. And he says, but I did have someone swing through town, was able to give me something a bit more interesting. I'm not exactly sure where it came from and what the story is, but it is quite peculiar if you ask me. And as he says that, you see that he pulls out this small velveteen box, and inside of it, you can see that it has a rope necklace that 4 mummified elven fingers are attached to.
Oh my god.
Ooh, get it.
She would look closely but be horrified. Those are like
Isn't it odd?
hand hurts.
Who knows the story behind this?
Ugh.
The rope is not a finely crafted chain like you would imagine elven fingers might be associated with. Beyond that, the fact that they seem mummified, they still have some dressings on there. They are dried out as if they were bathed in salt for years. And just the shape of it, the bone structure, how thin and delicate it is. Clearly elven in nature, as you, my dear, would fully understand. But who knows the story this came from? Was this a treasure taken from an orc raid, or from a dwarven plunder? Was this something that was passed down in an elven heritage for generations, stretching back to the beginnings of the elven folk? Who knows?
Her eyes get wider with every time he says freaking elven. Like, are you...
And as he puts this like
mostly horrified because he thinks it's
as
a fun thing to
as he says
talk
this, he
about.
puts this this frosted glass cover over it, and he says, well, as fascinating as it is, still cost me a pretty copper. So 10 gold is the asking price if you were curious, and he gives you a bit of a wink.
I will take it.
They caught my attention, that's for sure. No,
All right, Cephas, go ahead and
What,
add to your inventory the description that I put in the chat: a rope necklace from which dangles 4 mummified elf fingers. It is not an actual item that's in there, but who knows what it could do in the future.
And kind of puts her hand
Feeling like
out and
wearing it.
what are you doing with that? And wants to buy it instead. She doesn't. She wants to bury it.
She wants to
That's
bury
her
it.
thought.
Oh,
Bury it.
okay.
Just put the body parts back in the ground. Because Elven history says they probably should be. I don't know. What are you going to do with that? Yes. Cephas.
I'm not sure yet. Probably wear it around my neck to ward off enemies.
But she would want to buy it instead. I don't want to fight him for it though.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So yeah, Cephas, you now have
You can have 2 of them.
Do you pluck 2 fingers off of there and give them to her?
I'll pluck anything. Oh,
Do you want some fingers?
I just feel like it needs laid to rest. That's all I was going to do with it.
We can discuss that later.
All right.
She's still just horrified.
Yeah, can understand. I mean, you're an elf.
Did you still have that journal you said?
Oh, yes, of course. He goes over like with this whimsical flair, and he grabs this ancient book that appears to be a diary. He swings around, he opens it up, and he says, as you can see, the writings in it are unrecognized, clearly indecipherable. But, and he like, parts through it, and you can see that there's like, still the doodles of hearts and flowers and like squiggly lines and stuff like that.
I haven't forgotten this. How much did you say it was?
That would be 10 gold, my dear.
Well, I'm mildly interested still. But I was wondering if you would be interested in any of my items. In the bag of holding list, I'm mostly considering the instrument of illusions would maybe be interested to him, and
the instrument of illusions.
This yeah.
Okay, keep going.
No one seems to want it, so
Sure, I don't think anybody in the party even remembers you guys had it.
Yeah. Well, anyhow. God, I've lost it. This small container from Abathor's temple, which I thought was destroyed. But
What?
we disputed that back and forth, and I couldn't
The
find
temple
any
of
proof that we destroyed it.
what? The Temple of Abathor?
No, this small container that's in our bag.
No, there was a big fight over it. That was mostly it between Zash and Nylor.
Well, in my memory, I thought I handed it over. But we'll start with the Instrument of Illusions and see how that goes. I've got this. It seems well fit for a bard. I don't know any bards, so do you want it? Do you have interest?
It does appear to be. Let me see something real fast because I forget exactly which one that is.
Did we arrive yet? I'm sorry. Are we there with her?
It's going to be within a few moments here. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see which. I don't know if it was a very specific one. Okay, it was a loot. That's what it was. It was the loot of illusions.
Oh.
He looks at it
Full
and
time,
he's taking it and he kind of eyes it up and down a little bit. He goes, well, let me see here. I mean, and he takes out a piece of like a glass cylinder and kind of like props it into his eye. And he says, well, this is fascinating. It doesn't appear, well, it appears to be of some magical nature itself, but, well, if you're willing to sell it, I could take it off your hands. I don't necessarily see if I could turn this around for any, favorable bard. Unfortunately, that they aren't that common around these parts, but who knows? Kind of looks up at the two of you and says, with Lylon rebuilding itself, this place might become, the new Neverwinter. So, if that is the case, yes, I will take it off of your hands. I might be able to turn around, sell it to somebody else. I would say, if anything, maybe 100 gold.
Wait, that's way more than I was imagining.
What is this thing you're selling? I'm sorry.
Iluna doesn't know the Instrument of Illusions. I sound fair. I have no use for it, and
I don't even remember hearing about
I
it.
don't run into bards very often, so
There you go. Yeah.
All right, so you have given him the loot of illusions, and he is going to give you 100 gold.
I need to find the party funds.
Nice.
And we will say that it's at this point, as you are handing over the loot and he is handing over a satchel of coins, it's at this point that Smith, Albina, and Iggy walk in, and you guys see this loot being handed over to Aubrey, as Iluna is being handed a small pouch of coins.
Getting good business, eh?
Can we just call it 90 and make it even?
I'll take 10
The
gold.
10 for the other thing.
For what was the other thing?
Just subtracting the 10 from the journal.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. Yeah, you can just add 90 then. I just didn't know what you were talking about.
Oh, I thought she was saying, "Can we just make it
Yeah.
90?" Because she
Yeah, I
had
was like,
10 of
she's-
something. I'm like,
yeah,
"Oh,
that's
I'll
what I
take
was
the 10
thinking.
extra."
It's like, okay, you know, Aubrey's like, well, my lady, why don't we just keep going? 75. I love playing the game of you just give me free things.
So what's this place look like? We've been here
So
before.
You guys have not, but as you walk in, you kind of see this small curio shop around you. In the center of the room, there is a hearth that has these mystical color-changing flames coming up from it. There's tables and shelves spread around the outside of the room. Across from where you are standing, you actually see that there is this finely dressed Eluskin man. He has a thin black mustache with swept back black hair with some silver streaks in it. And he is currently handling this exchange between him and Iluna, but as soon as he puts the loot down and he hands her the bag and the book, he turns to you and he says, sorry, let me introduce myself. It is good to meet the three of you as well. I see that tonight it is a special congregation here in Aubrey's Peculiarities. As a pleasure to meet the three of you. My name is Aubrey Silverspun, and I run the Peculiarity Shop here in Lylon. How might I assist you folks this evening?
Iluna would say, "Oh, Abina, this is that shop I was telling you about, where those laces were." And my sprite, and
Okay,
would
wait,
step out of the way
where?
so that she can look.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. You are talking about the laces of leaping. And you see that he makes his way over to these shoelaces that are sitting over on one of the tables. He says, I have been told that when these laces are put into a pair of boots, they become imbued with a powerful magic that allows you to jump farther than you could ever jump before.
Oh. And how much were these?
Well, you see, with how spectacular they are, and the feats of strength, literal feats, not Feats, but literal Feets, feats of distance that you could jump, they would obviously have to be priced accordingly. As such, and he flips around the tag that he has on them, I am currently offering them for the minor price for what you get out of them at 250 gold pieces.
Albion just raises both her eyebrows and smiles. Of course, it's a good price. She looks over at Iluna and smiles. That's a lot.
Yeah, those seem exciting.
I can only imagine they are. I've personally never used them. I just want to make sure that whoever purchases them gets the best use out of them, the first use.
I'm just trying to see if I have anything I can sell to get rid of. I don't think I do.
Do we? I suppose none of us have heard anything about those except what he said.
Yep, you're gonna have to take it at face value unless you want to roll an insight check.
It would be insight to know if we knew anything about these?
No, it would be insight to see what you can discern from him telling you. The stuff that's in here is so rare that you would have never heard of it.
Gotcha. All right, well, I'll just roll my insight check. There.
1 second. Can I go too?
Wait, what did you say, Smith?
I would like to roll as well.
All right. Good. Yeah, I mean, the two of you, trying to get what you can from this man, he's very ostentatious. He's very eccentric. You do believe that he does, he is telling the truth in that, he's never used these and that these would, significantly increase your jump distance. But there does appear to be, like, you do kind of feel like he's holding just a little something back. And that's mainly you, Smith, that's getting that feeling.
I'm sure you wouldn't mind. Or let me think here for a second. I'm sure you wouldn't mind if I check them out a little closer. You mind if I take a look at them?
Well, I mean, I don't understand if do you not believe me? I mean, I feel that I am being forthright and honest with the information that it is I am presenting you. I have not I should not have given you any doubt within your minds. Is there something wrong here, sir?
It's a lot of money. And I just want to be sure it's the real deal.
Roll me persuasion. He looks at you and he says, "Sir, I must apologize. I sell high quality items that are extremely rare and valuable. If you do not believe me, I apologize, but I mean, I must say I'm quite taken aback by your unwillingness to, accept what it is that I am offering. And he kind of looks over at Iluna and he says, this young elf comes into my place, and she purchased an artifact, a peculiarity earlier today, and has brought you all in, and I felt that I was not going to be have my reputation absconded upon your entrance into my domain."
My apologies. I did not mean to offend. I just think here for a second. It is a lot of money, and I have a spell that lets me know for a fact that it's a real deal. And from what you're saying, you cannot prove that it is.
Well, maybe a small fee might allow you to rest your spirit at ease. If you wish to cast such a spell within this place, then I do not see the reason why I should not ask for a few coin in return. For all I know, you might be casting a spell that would turn off the magic, making me a liar to any who enter my shop.
Can I say something? Or Iluna wants to step
You
in
can. I
for
mean,
a
that's
second.
your prerogative to actually say something.
Well, to persuade him to not worry about us. Aubrey, sorry you feel offended, but you are used to seeing all sorts of interesting and amazing items, and we're not, so you certainly must understand our hesitation.
You roll me persuasion.
Damn it.
He looks over at you, and he pulls out that same glass piece that he looked at the loot with earlier, and he says, he puts it up to his eye, and he looks over at you, Iluna, and he says, "Excuse me." He says, I do not need to be told that I see magical, wondrous items enter my shop when you are walking in here with a counterpart carrying a staff that shoots fire, wearing robes that can raise the dead, gloves that can snatch arrows and missiles out of the air, and wearing goggles that will tell him what things are. I do not need you to tell me that you do not, that I see magical items. I am very well aware that I do. I can also tell that all of you are walking in here with items that would put most places out of business. Now, with that out of the way, and he looks back at you, Smith, and he says, I will let you cast your spell, but it will cost you 5 gold.
Is there anything else in this? Just looking around, is there anything else that catches my eye?
So what you see, around here, most of the stuff just kind of seems like obscure, random, like pieces of, I don't want to say junk, but kind of like small little trinkets here and there. Really, the only other things that catch your eye is there's a matching set of toy soldiers, that are both fairly in rough shape, with one of the heads missing off of one. You can see a set of navigator tools that is laid off to the side, as well as you see two superior potions of healing sitting up on the highest shelf behind the counter.
I thought there was just one.
What did he ask me, or what did he say?
He basically told you that if you wanted to cast that spell, you would have to pay 5 gold. And as you kind of like look around the room as you're thinking of this, he says, and I will say that if you decide to purchase it, then we can take the 5 gold off the top.
I was just gonna ask that. What the heck? That's crazy. Read my mind.
How much are the potions? These, were they greater
Superior.
healing?
And they're 500
potions?
gold apiece.
Damn. Would we need to attune to the brace or the laces? How does that work?
Are you asking me or are you asking him?
I'm asking you.
You would not know that. Or are you casting Identify?
I would need to cast Identify to find that out. Okay.
Yes.
Is there a way to ask it in game?
We can do.
I mean, you
Is
can
it saying
cast
something that like is commonplace.
Attuning something is something that magical users know about. Like anyone who interacts with magical items on a regular basis does know about attunement. It's essentially focusing your arcane energy with the arcane energy of the item so that you are attuned with it. I mean, it's literally like getting your frequencies in line with your connection to the arcane force.
And you said something seemed off. There wasn't something.
There,
he
it
wasn't
just
telling us about that item.
You got a feeling that he was just leaving something out about the item.
That sounds reasonable. I guess.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Iluna would just take it from the party funds because.
So you're casting Identify on it?
Our party.
What was Stacy saying? I'm sorry.
I was gonna say Iluna would just take the money from the party funds since it's aiming to benefit. I mean, we're all here at once. She just got 90 gold from him for the loot that no one remembered.
Was Albina looking at these laces?
Let's see.
I think it was. I feel it was just more of like
It
a
was-
curiosity.
Who would benefit most? I don't know.
So that seems like the only magical item in the shop, really, other than the healing potions.
I mean, it
Is that what you
seems
said? I'm sorry.
it seems like well, you don't know if any of them have any magic. Truthfully, like there is nothing that you know definitively that has that magic.
Supposed, yeah. No, I just
Wow.
remembered her mentioning these a while back, so I was like, oh, okay. Not really while back, but
Do you
session
ever get
wise.
more? Do you ever get more
Yeah.
attunement slots? Is that a
Only as
thing?
an artificer.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So wait, do we have the listing of this item? Or
Not
no?
at the moment, no, because you guys only know what he's told you.
Okay.
Do you know? I will ask him then if this is something you would have to attune to.
And he kind of like gives you this snarky look, and he says, "I don't know. Why don't you tell me?"
I don't know anything about this, sir. I was just wondering. I don't want to fight over it here with my friend, but we're just trying to see who would be the best to have these.
I changed my mind. I want him to be the auctioneer for my black market.
So do you give him the 5 gold and cast identify?
Yeah, we'll give him the 5 gold from the
Sweet.
party fund. Sure.
Okay.
From
Cool. So you see
Okay.
You see how Iluna, she reaches into the bag of holding, and he goes, "Oh, and a bag of holding on top of all of it. Yes, yes, yes. We know nothing about these crazy artifacts, I see. So, be my guest." And he goes over and he hands you the shoelaces. And as you cast the identify spell, you peer at these for this time, and after a period, the thing that he was kind of holding back was that they do not require attunement, but they can only be used 3 times, and then they just turn into regular shoelaces. So these are the Laces of Leaping. They are imbued with 1d4 unreplenishable charges. So they have 3 charges, because Identify does allow you to see how many charges, if any. And it also reveals to you that they do not require attunement. But I will say that, should you wish to buy these and put them onto somebody's shoes, these are not just things that could be swapped from one person's shoes to the other super quickly. They would require you to take a minute to switch out these shoelaces. So keep that in mind.
You trying to get one over on us? Neglecting to tell us that they can only be used 3 times?
And he looks at you and he says, well, the fact I've never once lied to you. I told you exactly what they did.
Yeah, buddy, but you made it seem like it was permanent.
I
I'm
never
dealing with you.
alluded to any such claim. I never said that you could
no?
use them forever. You could use the laces forever. But I simply claimed that these would allow you to jump farther than you have ever jumped before, which being that they quadruple your jump distance, that would be sound truth. But
And
beyond
how do
that-
you explain the calculation to what the price would be? The 3 times I used it, is that going to be 250 feet? What exactly use?
well, as any good mage is aware, every spell effect has some kind of arcane boosting ability with it. And because of that, I can tell from this that it would not only double your jump distance, much like the jump spell, but Or sorry, wait, fuck, I just said that and I was referencing something. That is tripled. He says, unlike the jump spell, which will triple your distance when you have that cast upon you, this increases that by a margin enough for me to presume that it would be quadruple. And I'm sure that your arcane master over here would be able to tell you the same thing. Am I right? And he looks over at you, Smith.
And doesn't indeed do that, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
Imagine.
from what you can see, it's imbued with the jump spell. But it's like a little bit of a stronger version. So you know that the jump spell can triple your jump distance. You imagine this would quadruple it.
And I'll just kind of nod.
How do you calculate normal jump distance?
So jump distance is where the hell is it? Your long jump is the number of feet equal to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet. So you have 14. So if you laced your boots up with these, you could jump 56 feet.
That is pretty badass.
Oh,
None of
okay.
As long as you move at least 10 feet beforehand. If you do a standing long jump, it's half of that. Also, you could do a high jump, which is you could leap into the air number of feet equal to 3 plus your strength modifier. So for you, or for Albina, that would be a total of 20 feet, since you could quadruple it. So.
I see. Yeah. I'm gonna pass. For myself.
Seftis would be able to jump 76 feet.
Mm.
Do you have any other magical items?
And construct, anyone can use those? Like, not just...
He looks at you.
Any other items with abilities like this?
He looks at you and he says, well, we can be at this all night. For every casting you wish to do, I will just simply charge 5 gold and you can have your fun. But I will be closing the shop soon, and seeing as how it took you about 10 minutes to cast that, I imagine you don't have that spell prepared, which means that we would not be at this for very long, but it might empty your coffer soon enough.
Do you care to tell me about any particular items?
That depends on what you were asking about. Says, he kind of like gestures. He says, as you can see, there are plenty of things that exist on my walls, but it would be, it would not be the where is the surprise? Where is the fun in simply just telling you what everything does?
Well, I see it. You just got 5 gold for doing nothing.
Well,
So you better give me some information, or you lost out on some business.
then what is it you wish to know?
Well, as you can tell, I am a wizard, and I was just wondering if you had any items that might benefit me. I was looking at some items up there. It looks like you got some healing potions. I might be interested in some of those, perhaps.
Yes,
Do you
they
have
are.
other items of interest, maybe?
And he kind of like takes a step back. And roll me a persuasion check.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
I too was curious about other healing potions.
Um,
Specifically.
he goes behind the counter, Smith, and he brings out a bag. As you ask about the potions, he just kind of gestures up to them, and he says, "Yes, if you are wanting to buy those, I had the traveler who sold me that necklace," and he points to Seftis. He dropped one of these off as well. They are 500 gold apiece. And as you can tell, as they are clearly labeled, superior potions of healing, I imagine you are, as adventurers, aware of the effects of a healing potion. These are the highest grade healing potions that you can find along the Sword Coast.
I'm certain they are. Do we, as a party, want them? Just ask out of game instead of having a mad discussion.
Wait, what are you asking? Do we want?
100.
Which items?
The superior healing potions. They're 4 times more likely or stronger or whatever.
Oh, I see that it's easy to determine
Then,
4 times the potency of an item when it's a chuggable potion,
Oh,
but whenever
this
it's
is out of
shoelaces,
character.
it's suddenly this magical artifact.
this was all out of
Saying
character.
it was out of game. I was trying to answer Steve.
It's 4 times the jump distance.
Unless he
Aubrey
was
doesn't know what
asking-
he's talking about. Oh, but the potion is 4 times the potency because we are clearly educated artificers.
I'm just so confused by
Unless
this guy. I
Septis
hate
was
this so much.
asking, but I'm pretty sure Steve was
Smith, he hands you he
was
puts
asking.
he puts down on the counter a bag. And he looks at you and he says, "You want an item that will be for a grand wizard, then here." And he says, "It is 150 gold for 50 gold for every bean inside." And he opens it up and you can see that there are 3 dried beans in there.
Is this man really selling magic frickin' beans now?
Arcana check. Tell me what they are.
Sure, go ahead and roll.
Have I heard of magic beans before?
If this man is handing you what you think it is, this is not a bad offer. You've heard of the magical bag of beans. While their effects are random, their effects are grand.
Huh.
Just do me a quick favor. Roll me a D100 and I will give you 1 piece of information.
Oh, I rolled 2. There we go. One. Yeah.
What? There we go.
Okay.
You've heard of one of these being thrown and a creature known as a bullet was summoned from one of these.
Okay. Damn. That's a bullet.
That's a bullet. It is a creature that fairly strong. It has a long jump of 30 feet, but I guess with those shoelaces that'd be 120. Yeah, basically these things are burrowing monstrosities that can rip apart people. In fact, their damage die is 4d12 plus 4.
Get him.
Just
Let's get them.
terrifying.
And
Let's do
you've heard of it. So yeah, it'd be 150 gold. And there are 3 beans inside of this.
It'd be 150 for the whole thing.
For each bean.
For the whole thing.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay.
Yeah, 50 gold per bean.
Bargain.
Oh, that is
Are we-
150
are
per bean. Okay.
Would we be alright taking that out of the party funds?
Mm-hmm. I want a bean.
What?
Does it work like that?
Albina says, yeah. if no one's adamantly opposed to taking out the party funds, then I can. You
No,
said it's
get it.
150, so no one's opposed.
Can we split the beans between
Nope.
people?
Does Smith tell us generically what he knows about this land shark? Or we're just trusting him, he wants the beans and that's enough.
He better tell us something if we're using party funds. I look over at him. What's the deal, Smith? What are those?
I'll just say,
A ferocious.
Yes, Smith.
I don't know.
Smith the wizard.
I don't know much about him, but he makes it sound like they're something that could benefit us.
Yes. Please tell us what they do.
This guy. Make swift enemies of us. I've taken the money out, so if somebody's getting them.
Ew.
Okay. Same rule as before apply. If I use the 5 gold and I decide I want them, I can take it off the final purchase.
Yep.
Well, we've already taken.
Jared,
Oh, I'll put the money back.
Yes.
look at your message.
Well, maybe we'll just wait for Mike to roll that, I guess, or summon that or whatever.
Well, when he asked me what it does, I don't officially. I mean, I haven't used Identify on it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, Smith. All that Smith knows is that there's a magic item known as the Bag of Beans, but he doesn't know exactly what it does. The only thing he's heard is that one time he's heard that one of the beans produced one of these bullets.
Oh, okay, I got you. I thought the guy told us this. I didn't realize. Okay. That's why I was making it official in game asking you.
Lucas.
Just do it.
I did. I got a 19.
I look at your message again.
Wait, share your screen and then look at your message.
Yellow.
If you want to just share that
With
right here on
advantage.
Discord.
Thanks.
So there's
Okay.
your answer.
So Smith, are you casting Identify?
Yep.
I'm sorry, I was in the middle of trying to buy concert tickets.
It's all good. So Smith, a few more minutes go by.
There's that.
Oh.
A
What
few,
are you doing?
A few minutes go by as you are attempting to do this. And it's as this, as you know, you're saying like, okay, so same 5 gold here, and you put 5 gold down on the counter. You start casting this.
And we could lose the attitude, please. That'd be great.
What's that?
And if we could lose the attitude, that'd be great.
He looks at all of you and he says, "Well, I think tonight this is the Aubrey that you have here, because I as much as you said you did not mean to offend me, I took some offense to that." And he looks at you. He says, "I felt that you, a wizard of such grand standing, would understand that a man like myself would not be trying to lie to you. There is so many magics out in this world that you and I, we should not be, unbelieving of each other. We should have each other's backs. And I did take a slight offense to that. But tomorrow is another day. As for tonight, this is the Aubrey that you have, a bit curmudgeoned and sassy." And as this conversation is happening, the door to the shop kicks open, and you see me walking in, and he has a child by the scruff of the neck who is kicking. And in Me's hands, you see he has 2 daggers and a small collection of coins.
Aubrey, you son of a bitch, if this is your doing to get more stuff out of people to sell in your black market, I drop the kid and instantly go, "Why aren't we in business together like all those years ago?"
He looks at you and he says, For the love of the nines. This is not one of mine. Get him out of here. And he looks up at you and he says, Me, this is not like the days when I was back in Luskin. I have turned myself around, and I am not in that line of work. It has been quite some time since we've seen each other. You still smell to the high heavens. But
Is that why you're selling shoelaces for probably 100 gold that you probably took off of some poor wizard shoe?
do not worry about how I come into my affairs. Now, what is it that I can do for you tonight? I am already in a bit of a mood, and seeing your face here in my shop has kind of struck a nerve. And you guys can tell that he is a bit flustered now.
Me walks over and leans on Albina and be like, I see you met my comrades.
Yeah, what's with this guy? I say to him in Goblin.
This
This
is the group.
Goblin.
Of course.
I respond back in Goblin going, used to do some real shady stuff. Claims he went clean, but...
I have. And...
No, he can't. You can't hear us. He's not a goblin, is he?
He's not, but he is speaking in Goblin.
He speaks Goblin?
And he's... And you guys all hear him speaking in the same language that Albina and Iggy and me can speak.
Just
and he says,
back, and I'm like,
he says, I have turned around. Okay, those were times. I have paid my fines. I have done my time, and I have come here in service of the Lord of Neverwinter in order to bring some profit and some class to this town. I have turned my ways around from those old days, and I wish that you would not start bringing them up again, because I am not trying to go back to that life, and I am trying to allow for this shop to prosper. Is he still here? Is he here with you? You and I?
Well, me will go ahead and look a bit sad. I'll be like, well, you's over at the tavern right now. He actually helped me catch the kids. Which, by the way, he hands the 5 gold over to Smith. And who was it?
It was you and
it was me
and you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have the 2 daggers, so I pocket 2 daggers. We actually lost eye to this black cultist.
Oh. And
we
you
lost the ship, lost him and all.
You see Aubrey's look just, changes almost instantly. He goes, "Oh. Well, I'm sorry. I did not know that. He was a good man." Well, Goblin.
Not your fault.
Goblin.
Time's been tough, buddies.
Yes, and he kind of looks at the shop. He says from everything that I was able to keep, this is it. I'm hoping that, though, with the rebuilding of Lylon, as Lord Neverember has told me that is assuredly coming, but, that we might be able to find some profits and get back into the life of trading peculiarities. But with that damn cult that attacked us yesterday, I was afraid my shop was going to be destroyed likewise.
Yeah, you're welcome for saving your ass on that one. We're the group that did that.
Yeah.
So I would say treat them with the same respect that you and I treat each other, but I don't think they'll quite understand our mutual respect for each other. So treat them with some care.
Well, if that is the case, Smith, he looks over at you and he hands you back a platinum.
Which is worth how much again?
Or sorry, not a platinum. Christ alive. He hands you back 10 gold.
Well, that would be a platinum.
No, it's not. I messed it up when I said platinum. Platinum is 100. Yeah.
Back 10 gold.
Oh.
But yeah, he gives you back the
out of the party funds.
Well, I know, but it was, it was in gesture more. Smith can put the money back in the party funds if, he wishes.
I hope so.
But yeah, he hands you back the 10 gold that he took for you to cast Identify.
I thank him.
So yeah, the which Yeah, so as you're having this conversation, you see Smith standing there, focusing his glasses in on these. This is a bag of beans. You have 3 beans in here. You know that if you remove a bean and plant it in the dirt and water it, it will produce an effect a minute later from where it was planted. But it's random, so it could be something as, obscure as, a handful of toadstools sprout that could either heal or hurt someone. A geyser of water or juice or tea could sprout out from the ground for up to a minute. A treant could sprout from the ground. Shriekers could emerge. A bullet could emerge. A animate stone statue could arise. A campfire could, suddenly sprout up. So there's a bunch of different things. It could even be as grand as a giant beanstalk sprouting, which, might lead somewhere into the sky to who knows what.
Nice.
So yeah, you can go ahead and to your inventory add a bag of beans, and it has 3 beans.
Magic beans. Hopefully we put those to good use. Do we wish to get one of those potions of healing as an option for the party to use? They're quite pricey. No? Anybody?
Aubrey Shop is inexplicably quiet at that point.
You-
I already have
no
a
one wants
potion.
to heal. Okay. Luna probably would have looked quite impatient. She wanted to go, but she wanted to make sure the party funds covered things from places like this, typically. Unless they're shopping on their own, the party can cover most things. So that's why she stayed. Aubrey, it was nice seeing you again. Sorry you felt a bit hassled,
Well,
but
He
like I
deserves
s-
to be hassled.
times
yes,
are
yes.
tough around here, these parts, so everyone's on a little bit of an edge.
Yes, well, you have to understand where I am coming from, and I do apologize for the bit of sass that I gave you. With how everything happened yesterday, I was a bit frazzled, but this morning the gentleman who passed through, who I purchased that necklace from, that he gestures to Cephas, he said he kind of riled me up a bit, and I took it out on you when that whole identify thing comes up. I don't normally allow people to do that, I will say. But seeing as how you are friends with me, I will be a little more forgiving. We do have a bit of a history together.
If that's what you want to call it, which
Yes.
me will look to the group and be like, if you guys head out, I'll catch up. I have to talk to Aubrey about something real fast.
So it is fine. You need a bit of sass to deal in magic items.
Mm.
All the types that must come in here. Anyhow, I told Marigold I would meet him at the shrine.
He nods.
So that's where I'm going. I'm
Okay.
sure we'll see you in time.
Well, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
She'll take her leave with anime on her shoulder. Cephas, were you coming with me? I
Yeah,
didn't
where
know if you were still wandering about.
Yeah, where's
Yeah.
anyone
I mean,
else
the last
going?
she
If
knew, he was strolling the town, but he can do what he likes.
Well, I guess you got all the
Yeah,
fun
he'd probably
stuff,
just walk around still, but
Smith.
holding out
Okay.
his necklace in front of him, just batting the fingers backwards and forwards.
Oh yes, I
yes,
need to talk to you about them. I forgot as a player, Iluna would be scowling at Septus.
where is so obviously me is staying there. What is Albina and Smith doing?
No, I just have a question for Smith. Did you get those beans or what?
Yes. I can take one out and give it to her, right?
Sure.
Is there a way I can track how
What
many
do these
beans I
things
have?
do?
So what I would recommend is if you add to your inventory the bag of beans, just go under customize and change the name to like bag of beans times 3 or something like that. Unfortunately, there's no way to add charges to it.
So it
They're just
recharges
a
it.
one-time use, or
Each time you like when you plant a bean and then water it, a minute later the effect happens. So there's only 3 beans in there.
cool.
Aubrey was giving you guys something. Aubrey was purposefully giving you something that was like a non-replenishable thing, kind of like out of spite because of the shoelaces.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. At
Um,
least we got the $10, the 10 gold back.
do they actually explode like they say they do?
So
wouldn't it be that way?
well, what that is that is if you dump the bean's contents out on the ground. So that's if you remove a bean, plant it in dirt or sand, and then water it, it creates the effect. But if you just flip the bag upside down and dump them on the ground, it does explode in a 10-foot radius. And each creature makes a DC 15 dex save, taking 5d4 fire damage on a failed save.
Okay, I don't want to do.
Yeah. So probably not the best thing to just like dump it out, but you can like take one out and give it to her. But roll me an Arcana check.
Me or him? Sorry.
No, him. Being that it has that effect where if you dump it out, you actually don't know what happens if you just take a bean out without going through the process of watering it and planting it. So you're actually not sure what would happen if that happens.
So it's best to just
Oh.
store them all in one spot.
Yeah, I'll explain that they're magical beings and have different effects that are random. But I would give you one, but I'm not sure what it would do if we kept it out and didn't plant it.
It's okay. I don't want Rafa to get a hold of it.
Speaking of
Cool.
which, where should we plant these things?
Real quick,
Mm-hmm.
oh, real quick about those were 150 and to take out of the party funds, yes.
Yes.
Like Smith didn't take them out of his own.
Yeah, Smith doesn't have 150
Mm.
gold to himself.
Okay.
I wish I had
I don't
150.
keep track of anybody else's.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think you did, but I had no idea.
We are poor.
Okay, that's all. We're actually really wealthy.
Oh, I meant individually.
Same. We're much richer. Smith didn't mind losing 5 gold. He kind of should have. A lot of money for most people.
Yeah, for commoners. Yeah. All right.
Those
So
kids stole a fortune.
so Aluna is going out to talk to Marigold. Seftis is going out to kind of roam the town a bit. Me is going to stay here and chat up chat up Aubrey a bit. What is Albina and Smith doing at this time?
Where was the map again? Let me see. Let's just go to the tavern, Smith.
I'm okay with that.
Let's go have a beer.
So you guys,
Come in, Iggy.
Iggy's like, yeah, I gotcha. He's like,
Smith's
you know,
paying for this round.
oh yeah, hell yes, yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll say that maybe Albina and Smith are heading back to the tavern with Iggy, so that you guys can discuss what you did that day. Albina down at the docks, and Smith over at the Temple of Lathander.
You
I don't
can
like that.
explain.
Saving somebody's
I don't like that
life.
me took it upon himself to go after the kids. I'll be talking to Albina about that. That's for sure.
I mean, I gave you your 5 gold back. But
Wait, what happened?
Do it alone.
Smith.
I went after the kid on my own accord.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Oh,
I
I
can't
thought-
control anyone. I just meant
thought
Smith
Lucas
no
said
fireballing
you-
children. He knows
But-
how Albina is.
But using the tavern so you can explain that we finally got the archer to everyone, because I just want to talk to Aubrey alone for a brief moment.
Sure. We'll walk in and we'll see you. We'll go over to the table with them.
All right. So yeah, so everybody leaves. As the door shuts, Aubrey looks at you, me, and he says, "Well, I must say I'm quite shocked to see you showing your face around here."
I'm surprised that they let you out of prison.
Well, I paid my dues, as I said. And I'm being serious. I've tried to turn my life around. I'm not sure if you heard, but Rat Alley back in Luskin is now home. Is no longer just the trashy alley that it was. There's actually a restaurant there now.
Well, good to see it finally going up. Bad because that's where I did a lot of my business whenever I was around, but...
I'm not saying that there isn't still that going on, but, all the rats that are there?
Yeah.
Hell,
So...
the restaurant
reason-
specializes in it.
Nothing like a... And usually their slogan was the rabies made it taste better.
That's right. But we figured it was best for for all the ship hands who, when you're out at sea, you often develop a good taste for rats. So figured it would be the best for them, and their wares did make it through that shop. So it's not that it still isn't going on. It's just now it's a little bit more on the up and up.
Well, the reason I let them all leave so I could talk to you is I have a business proposition for you. I'll make sure it stays legal, he puts quotes around that. And as far as the forefront, I'm thinking about possibly, I don't want to say a hostile takeover, but taking one of the buildings of the docks to turn into like a fisher's market, a trade spot, and who better would I know to sleaze prices than sleazeball of Aubrey himself?
Look, like I said, the old Aubrey is still rotting in jail. I just don't want to get in trouble. And look, I'll be real with you. Lord Neverember made me an offer that I really could not refuse, but I have to stay on the up and up. And Griselda here, she is very involved with the goings on, and she is aware of my situation. So you are probably best not to try and use my shop for anything, because she is here on the regular.
It would be your wares, and I'll be talking to her as well. She owes me a favor anyways. If you slept in one of the council people's chairs, It's not as comfortable as you think it would be. And he
Yes.
just like stretches and cracks his back. But they kind of owe me a little bit of a favor, from saving the town, helping out with a arcane archer that almost killed everybody, and helping with a guard patrol. Well, but it's gonna be legal. It's just I know you will perfectly understand the ongoings happening underneath the legal business where I need you to keep your nose out of so you won't be liable, but you can
Well,
run fish market of the legal part.
well, as much as I appreciate the offer, like I said, I am going to keep my nose out of this. If the most that I can say is that I have a contact who comes here every few days. If you wish for me to let you know when he is going to be here, that's about the most that I can do. But I want nothing to do with the business over there. But I'm sure he might be able to give you might be able to give him a bit more attention.
Me gets the same shit-eating grin that he had, and then just says in Goblin, there's the Aubrey I knew. Even though you won't do it, you still have your old ways about you.
He
It's
says,
good to have old friends in low places.
yes, yes. He smiles and he says, yes, low places. And with that, he kind of like steps out from behind the counter, pulls up a little bit of his pant cuff, and you can see that he has an arcane tattoo on his ankle that is not only the symbol of the jailhouse from Luskin, but it is also marked with the symbol of Neverwinter. And this is actually something that you recognize because this is showing that not only was he jailed in the highest prison in Luskin, but he is also under the watch of Neverwinter. And should something happen, he is very easily identifiable.
He's under house arrest.
Yeah, kinda.
House arrest. House arrest.
He just kind
Use
of
that
chuckles and
little-
goes, if it wasn't for all that magic shit, I did say about breaking you out and making you join our crew a while back, but
Yeah, he kind of looks at you and he says, yes, but God, much did I prefer the calmness of just, relaxing there in Luskin, the sea air blowing into my face, as watching the ships pull into port with untold treasures. Did I appreciate those chests. And he says, and I will say, your friend that was here, the wizard, I would be quite curious if you'd be able to get out of him where he acquired such a set of robes. It is not often that you see somebody walking around with robes that can raise the dead.
No.
listen, they have stuff in that bag of holding. They told you and myself about an item in there that I really believe it would be profitable.
Oh?
Just I won't
Oh,
say
well,
what it
fine.
is.
How
I will
profitable?
not say.
The-
He'll like he'll look around knowing that the door's closed and everything and nobody else is in there, but he'll just lean in and whisper and be like, let's just say it's some sort of dragon egg. I won't say what type, but it's definitely profitable.
And you see his eyes go
Oh my
wide.
God.
And he says, really? Says,
We're
well,
keeping this on the down low for now. Oh, as me goes back, so you didn't hear it from me, but
he says,
there's
and he,
definitely something profitable that I really want to get my hands on.
and he nods, and he says in Thieves' Cant a phrase that would have been spoken down in Luskin, which was, kind of like this, gesture of trust between the two of you. Thieves' Cant is, a very broken and extensive series of words that is used to, say something of much shorter length. And, but basically what he's saying is essentially like, you can trust me. And also it is tied into something from your old pirating days.
Me will go ahead and nod and respond back in Thieves' Cant, and essentially just along the lines of, and that's why I'm telling you, and nobody else. I didn't even tell the two crazy bastards that was still hiding in the smuggler's den.
You see his eyes perk up. He goes, are they still here?
He goes, no, they skipped town. Given they followed with the thing of take something, leave something, and he'll hold up the horn and he'll be like, took this, left a hat of disguise that I looted from somebody that was trying to sneak around town.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Yes.
It's still open to you. You were once one of us. You just have to follow the old traditions of take something, leave something, and don't let anybody see ya.
And he kind of looks around his shop, and he says, oh, trust me. I said, what's down there is probably not going to be of any interest to me. He says, but maybe one day, maybe I'll partake in them again. All right. So with that, we can cut back to so Smith, Albina, we're heading down to the tavern with Iggy. Cephas is kind of roaming the streets, so we will jump over to Iluna.
I will say after all that, me will be heading towards the tavern, so whenever that bridge crosses, we'll get to it, but...
Okay. All right, so yeah.
Maybe I misheard, but I had the impression that, like, Iluna and Cephas would leave at the same time. And before they part ways, Iluna would be like, I need to talk to you about that necklace.
Yeah. You guys can
make
have that
time for
conversation
it.
right now.
Cephas.
Steve.
Oh my goodness. Walk over.
Sorry, I was muted.
Oh, sorry. It's all good.
He's like, I'm not having any conversation. I'm just kidding.
Nope.
I mean, I'm running away.
No.
Okay.
About that necklace. For what use do you have for it?
None. It's merely a trinket.
I'm not here with them, am I?
No.
They walked out. They walked out before you, so.
Oh.
Unless we all somehow walked out together.
Well, you two definitely walked out first, because Smith and Albina stood back for a second. So I mean, it'd be like a minute or so before they would walk out.
You are aware those are elven fingers. I feel they need properly buried. It's an atrocity.
Does the mystery of the object not intrigue you?
It isn't mysterious. Their fingers. They need buried. You
They're merely flesh and bone.
that may be what you believe. I'm working on the assumption that elves believe they are reborn. The whole like cycle thing. Something I read in the lore a long time ago.
That elves are reborn.
Well, yeah, like their spirit seems to come back, and when they're young, they have memories of when their past lives, and the notion that that elf needs to be completely buried so it can have its next life.
I mean, I I, I will personally say I've never heard of that. Um, if that was
Well,
something, if that's something that I am, ignorant of, so be it. Um, at least within my established lore, um, the main thing that I will say is that elves kind of live forever. There just comes a point in their life when they reach, like, you know to their seventh century. They start to feel a draw to the Feywild, at which point they cross over from the material plane to the Feywild to continue their existence there as a sylvan spirit. But obviously they can just straight up be killed. Like that's still a grand thing. But we can definitely say that if that's something from Iluna's past, that she was told that elves, were, kind of have this like reincarnation thing going on, that very well could be a teaching from her like nomadic tribe.
sure, but it's just something I thought was lore throughout all of D&D.
I mean, the most the most
The
things
whole trance
about
thing.
the most thing that I can say about their lives is mostly that they live over, like it says in the book here, they can live over 700 years, giving them a broad perspective on events. Um, they are more often amused than excited, more likely to be curious than greedy. Um, but like, there's nothing that I've ever read that says that they necessarily have those memories from past lives or anything like that. So I can't speak to that. If there was a piece of lore that you read somewhere in, like an older book or, some kind of, like additional elven lore, that's just something that I'm unaware of, because I'm mostly going based off of what's in 5e. The only difference
What's in
being that whole thing of their
5e?
death.
Um, regardless, it it should be buried. I would be very wary of why someone puts body parts on a necklace and bury them and give them a wide berth. Whoever did that, if they may have done something. It just seems extra horrendous. Anyhow,
Perhaps we should. Perhaps we should have Smith identify it.
Speak of the devil, moments later,
perhaps
Smith the wizard steps out of the door.
Meanwhile, we're both talking.
Dun
I hope he
dun
didn't kill
dun.
those kids. I hope they're okay. We better go ask him.
That's true. You only saw one of the kids.
Oh man.
But yeah, as you guys are having this conversation right outside of the shop, Smith and Albina walk out as the door shuts behind you, and me is now having the conversation with Aubrey.
Oh, you guys are still
but
here.
maybe Smith will agree with me. He's an elf. Have to spot those fingers, and she would wiggle her own with elf fingers. Well, they're probably gloved or whatever, but know, I feel they need buried, but I'm concerned. Maybe you can identify them or help me convince him if it's a concern of yours as well. Smith.
Well, I only heard bits and pieces. But I can definitely take a look at them. Yeah.
Seth
Okay.
is
Texas will just hand them over to Smith.
okay.
Oh, really?
So you take
Okay.
this rope off. Yeah. So while you probably did definitely see it around his neck. It's now as you're being handed this, Smith and Albina, the two of you can see, this is a rope necklace that 4 mummified elven fingers dangle from. They are slender in nature. They kind of have bits and pieces of wrapping that is still around them. And they're kind of strung through. There is there's like a piece of like sinew meshed with cloth, because as it like dried out over the ages, it just kind of became like a leather almost, that was pierced, that this rope is attached through. And Smith, as you start to identify this, at
Why'd
first,
you buy this thing?
yeah, go ahead.
This isn't your doing, is it? Albina just looks over.
Well, she looks at Cephas and says that.
Bought it
Yeah.
back there.
I didn't hear what she
If I
said.
did, I don't remember.
Ah.
What?
It's hardware error.
Yeah.
He bought it back there.
Oh,
Not
okay.
sound.
Oh, did he buy it right with me there? I didn't even.
No. He bought it whenever it
No,
was just
before
him and
you
Al.
showed up.
Yeah. He bought it when it was just Iluna and him in the shop.
Yeah, that's why Albina would ask.
Mhm.
Because I don't want a metagame.
All right. So what's it do?
Yes, just before you arrived.
So
There's
you
some creepy elf fingers.
he hands this to you. You kind of like look up at him and you're like, why the hell did you buy this? And you start to identify it. Smith, as you do, you get this like really eerie feeling from it. And as the minutes go by, you just kind of get this like real uneasy, like kind of gross feeling. But as your spell is finishing, you realize this thing, because at first you're like, obviously this is just going to be a gross piece of memorabilia from like, some attack, or like, somebody like went delving into an elven tomb and found a mummy and ripped its fingers off as a trophy or something like that. But it's as you get to the end of these few minutes, surprisingly, it actually has magic imbued into it. Specifically like conjuration magic, and that these actually hold the spell Summon Fae. So what it is for every finger, you can pluck it off of this and throw it into the air, and when you do, it manifests a Fae spirit for up to an hour. The thing is that with the spell, it comes out with a random mood. So normally the Summon Fae, you get to choose whether it is fuming, mirthful, or tricksy. This one is random. But you also you also discern that if you pluck multiple off, it upcasts it. So normally when you pluck this off, it's a 3rd level conjuration spell. It would summon it at a 3rd level, but for every one that you pluck off additionally, it casts it at a higher level, which mostly just has to affect the face spirit's hit points, AC, and the amount of times that it can attack. So, and Cephas, if you want to remove that custom item from your inventory and add the necklace of summon, or of how do I put it in there? The necklace of Fae summoning, you can do so.
Hey, you said I give it back.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that is the truth. Smith's like, hey, come on, it's my people.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I'm kind of get. I want to bury it. Smith apparently wants the magic himself.
So what do I know
There
about the
still
Fae exactly?
is.
Oh, the Fae is just
These Fae spirits.
Fae.
Are they helpful or evil?
So Fae spirits are more just like spirits of Fae creatures. Fae creatures being elven from the Fae Wild, like more like elf than elf. Like Fae spirits are just innate creatures from the Fae Wild. So these would be summoned in under your control, and it would
Oh, yeah.
it would resemble a Fae creature of choice, but the way that these would summon is these are going to summon in with a random mood, and they kind of have just like generic elven features. It would be an ally to you and your companions. It would last for an hour, and it would share the initiative count of whoever summoned it, taking its turn immediately after. And it can, at the current level, would be able to, if it was fuming, it gets advantage on its next attack roll it makes before the end of its turn, so it gets advantage on its on one of its attacks. If it's mirthful, wait, no, yeah, if it's fuming, it has it has a face step, but if it's fuming, it has advantage on the next attack it makes before the end of its turn. If it's mirthful, it can force a creature it can see within 10 feet of it to make a save, otherwise it's charmed. Or if it's tricksy, the Fae can fill a 5-foot cube within 5 feet of it with magical darkness. So that's it, and it can also fight. It has an attack, which is based on the creature's spell attack modifier. Which for Cephas, obviously, he doesn't have a spell attack modifier, but it would be based on his. We'll say that it's. I'm gonna just put a random number on it right now, but I'm just gonna say it's probably gonna be like a +5. So.
Nice. Okay. I'll hand it back and I'll explain what it does. I'll say you should definitely hold on to that. It could definitely come in handy. It could come in handy during a fight.
Iluna reaches out
Clearly,
to
this
grab it, but
this is of
pulls her
more
hand back.
use
'Cause
to either one of you.
not
Would
hers.
would either of you prefer it?
Wait, what's up?
He's offering
would
it up to you
bury it.
or Iluna.
I would put it in the bag of holding to keep it safe.
Is it something you had to attune to?
No, it is not.
I think you should hold on to it actually, unless you really didn't want it. Look,
Uh,
I was saying
I'll
that to
have
Cephas,
it
by the way.
if
I don't think we
you
should
wanna.
bury it, to be honest.
I will allow Luna to hold it. I do agree we should keep it, though. It may prove useful. I don't understand your attachment to something that's flesh and bone, but do as you will.
The fate shouldn't be bothered.
Look,
They
They may prove useful allies.
perhaps, but I've no intention on doing anything with it currently. I respect the magic that was put there and the elf whose body it belonged to. but it's been some time. I'd like to head off to the shrine for Marigold.
Very well. So Sedges, I guess, will just hand it to Luna for now. Put it in the bag. But don't get rid of it, 'cause it sounds pretty fun.
Actually, yeah, if you're gonna put it in the back, hold on.
I'll get rid of it.
Yeah, while you guys were having this, talk and this discussion, as it was, handed from Cephas to Smith, and then back to Cephas, and then offered up to Smith, and then Luna. You see, once Smith kind of explained what it was, you see how Bina just like very timidly like trying to like maybe reaching out to like take it as it's being handed from one person to another.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then once it's handed to Iluna, you just see she's like,
Oh yeah, that's it's pretty interesting. Yeah, keep that safe.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't even realize you wanted it.
No, I threw a sleight of hand right before you were gonna hand it back to Smith. I mean to
yeah. It was just one of those like ooh.
But then everyone started talking, and I was like, "Oh man!" And now I feel horrible if I take it. And Eileen was like, "Yeah, we need to make sure these things get burned." I'm like, "Oh, just you know what?"
Yeah. The cleric with an affinity for summoning small creatures is just enamored with enamored with this necklace.
Why shouldn't I have it?
Why shouldn't I? It summons things. I have a sword that dances at my word. I have beasts. I've spirits that fly around me and protect me. Why shouldn't I have the thing that summons fey creatures?
Rafa can wear it.
That's in part why Iluna says she respects the magic that's in it, but also the elf that the fingers belong to. She also has a magic beast, and well, the other two aren't quite magic, but
All right. So after that, we'll say that
these are strong.
we'll say that Cephas, Smith, and Albina maybe head back to the tavern unless Cephas is just gonna mill about for a little while Iluna goes over to the Shrine of Lathander.
Nope, tavern sounds good to me.
Okay. So as everyone is heading over,
I'm gonna put out that I don't trust me and you,
okay.
Oh,
and I think it was a bad idea.
I agree.
I think it was a bad idea we brought him in.
well,
Do you see how I went after those
they're in
kids
now.
after we decided we weren't gonna do that?
Yeah, I do, but he also got us kind of on the better side of that Aubrey. I mean, maybe he just has a peculiar way of being.
Maybe, but we should keep an eye.
We
on
can
it.
keep
don't
an
trust
eye
peculiar.
out. They
Oh,
did
man.
save our lives. Most of ours.
All right.
Not everyone
well,
likes the
there.
kids like I do.
Is this at the tavern, or
No, we'll say that maybe
Well,
that's maybe
we
is
were
there.
all together?
Walking.
Yeah, that's I know Smith definitely was saying that when you guys were all there.
I mean, he did give you your 5 gold back, but he did go after those kids, so it wouldn't hurt
Well,
to be a little more cautious.
I
we
mean,
can.
whenever he shows
I
up, you guys are more than willing to
remain
ask him
cautious.
because I have the whole scenario played out in my head.
Are you gonna be there? Okay, good. Me and you were there at the tavern still.
Well, I was gonna say, so we will. I'll jump over to Iluna, who has headed over to the Shrine of Lathander. And as you walk in, you can see that at this point of the day, it's getting closer to that. It's about 7:30 at this point. The sun's gone down. Most people are heading in for the night.
Ow. Sorry.
And so as you walk in, you see Marigold there, and actually as you're walking in, you see Sergeant Yoram walking out of there. He walks through the door as you're walking in. You can see he has like this 1,000-yard stare. He doesn't even like pay you any mind.
I think she would recognize he's had trauma and just give him a quick nod and leave it at that. Understanding that he wouldn't might notice her much, if at all.
Yeah, he pays you no mind at all.
Just, I mean, she doesn't really know what happened, but she knows something's has been pretty awful. So, I would look for Marigold and greet him when she sees him.
He peeks up.
Warmly.
You can see that he had a bit of a somber look on his face, and then he perks up at your sight and he says, "Oh, welcome back. It is good to see you again, young Iluna."
Young. I appreciate the recognition that my years do not mean I'm old. For an elf, she is young, so it's complex. Yes, I came to talk to you about this, and she'll get Solnasha out and the little seedling. This seedling of this bloom crawler. I gave one to Adabra, and it seems fitting that you could make use of one as well. In other parts, they are used as fighting companions, but I just have mine here for companionship and the health benefits these berries can provide.
And he listens to you and he says, "Oh, yes, excellent. I'm surprised you had one with you." He says, "But I'm glad to have one. These will come in handy, very much so. I mean, if they are akin to a druidic goodberry, I intend to use them as many as I can, as soon as I can."
We have to tend to the plant, and it'll grow into one of these, according to somebody in Neverwinter she spoke with.
You are referring
Somebody
to
with a baker. A gnome.
you're referring to
Is
Ronpo.
he a gnome or a dwarf now?
Yeah, no, he was a gnome.
Ronpo. See, all I could remember was, what was it,
He is a
Elros? But that's the wrong one.
Elberos,
Yes.
the high elf wizard of the
the
Wizards
elf.
of the Sword Coast. Yeah, no, Ronpo is the gnome alchemist baker and the owner of the Philosopher's Scone. Thanks, Jared.
That's what I couldn't remember. Philosopher's Stone. So yes. And he explained that they could be grown, and in trade for his knowledge, I gave him a seed or 3 or so.
Hmm.
I planted these ones.
I see. Well,
I was curious.
Mhm. Yes.
I was curious if you might have any healing kits or potions to spare.
Unfortunately, right now I do not. I am in between shipments, and most of the kits that I keep with me are mainly used for the minor healings that need to be done. As he gestures over to his table, which you can see has a few healers kits on them, and he says the potions are a little bit harder to come by, but occasionally a gentleman that Aubrey, the owner of the peculiarity shop, he will sometimes let me know whenever a gentleman is around that sells potions, and I might get one or two on them, but I keep them in very short supply and only use them in the utmost of situations whenever other healing is not available.
Understandable, but you have your own, shall we call them powers? That
Well,
help along
the
way,
miracles that Lathander bestows
possibly
upon
more
me,
so.
yes. I have been known to offer out healing, and if you are looking for it for a nominal fee to the temple.
Well, I was hoping to bolster my healing supplies and
Well, if what you're saying is
with
correct, and your friend from Phandalin will be down here in a few short days, then if she is willing to focus on her time concocting such, then I will not have to wait for that salesman to come to town.
yes, I know she's well versed in many potions. As long as she got the
Yes,
supplies to make them.
if that is the case, then
Most of them seem to be herbs, as far as I'm aware.
if that is the case, then I would foresee us working well together.
Anyhow, I will leave this with you, and hopefully you'll be able to grow yourself
Well,
a
I
balloon crawler.
I
and make use
appreciate
of
it very
its
much
healing
so.
properties in the future.
All right.
Yeah, do what we can to bolster this town up.
That is right. This town will only survive if we are all working together.
Indeed. It's been nice chatting with you again. I shall look to find my friends in the tavern, I believe.
Well, enjoy your evening of drink and mirth. I will be here tending to those who cannot tend to themselves. Right.
Shall just
Mhm. What's that?
No, I just got distracted. Your camera got super dark. It
Oh.
caught my eye. I think your screen just made it light. Your camera just got dark, and the change from light to dark just caught my eye. Then she will have a friendly wave and take her leave.
Okay. All right. Well, we will say that you head back to the.
Oh wait,
Mm-hmm.
she needs to go up,
What?
up to the hall to get the letter.
Oh. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah. Heading. Okay.
Yeah,
No, believe me.
it was.
I plan to play into that. Don't worry.
Okay.
So it's as
So
you, because
not go up there yet.
well, because
Because
I mean
was
it's
her main, like, let's spend
out
some time and
out
then
of
get
out of
back
game
up
it is
there.
out of game it is 9:30. I have to use the bathroom like a racehorse, and I'm starting to get a headache right up in here. But my mic. So as you are leaving the shrine of Lathander, you hear a slightly familiar voice, the voice of Sadie, as she is running down the road between the town square and the shrine of Lathander. As she's waving the paper in her hand, and she says, "Oh, there you are, there you are. Ah, yes." And she kind of seems like she's a little out of breath. She goes, "Ah, I finished it up in half the time. Took me a lot of effort, but here it is." And she hands you the accord that she was drafting up, as well as the duplicate.
Oh, that was fast. You must be getting good with your spells.
I assuredly am. I have been training under Mr. Elebro for some time, and you see, he is a very powerful wizard, and he is training me on how to be a scribe. And it is my life's dream to be a wizard in a castle somewhere, writing the decrees for the king and writing all of the documents, because that's where our history lies. It's in the words that we write.
That is definitely the truth. Even long-lived people forget their histories.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. It's because people
Not
don't write
written
them down.
down.
And even the normal people who write them down, they only write them with normal ink. See, and she pulls out from she kind of like pulls out from her side. You see, and I'll put up a picture of her, of what she looks like. She has this almost like bandolier across her pack that has these vials of what look like different colors of ink. I know in the picture there's the red, green, and blue, but there's also a black one. And you see that along this leather strap, there's a sheath that has a feather sticking out of it, that you recognize as her quill. And she says, you see, normal people only use regular ink, which is often just like a combination of squid ink and some kind of binding agent. But if you get arcane ink, it lasts forever. And then you don't have to worry about it. Then it doesn't fade. The most you have to worry about is paper burning, which even that, I'm in the talks right now with with another wizard who is trying to make unburnable paper. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That seems fantastic. So, I'm sure as you keep at it, you will get your tower, and maybe one day in the far future, I will meet you there.
Well,
Long from
once
now.
I am the scribe to a royal kingdom, you'd be welcome to come by, and I could write up something for you. I can give you my autograph at that point.
Indeed. Just keep at it and study under this wizard. Um, where is he located?
And
Oh, the tower.
yep, as you say this, she points to
There.
the giant, massive tower that stands in the center of town. That for every day that you guys have seen this map, no one has yet to ask me what the House of Thalavar is. But
No,
she
I was
points.
intentionally ignoring it.
Yeah,
It's way too important.
she points up to it, and she says he's right up there. He's right up at the House of Thalavar. He's you know what? He's so important. He's the one that's overseeing the rebuilding of it.
It looks like it'll be a mighty tower once it's finished.
Oh, I'm
And,
sure it is.
I should like to meet his acquaintance, and I would like to finish or make sure these papers get dealt with haste. So oh my lord,
And
Phandalin and have a new home.
you see that she says, oh yeah, by the way, I didn't run it by Griselda because I know she can be a bit of a stick in the mud, but I put on here a contraction to allow for this to sound a little better, so it's the Phandalin Pact. She says, get it? Because it's like Phandalin and the end, it's like beginning of Phandalin, the end of Lylon, the Phandalin Pact. You see, years
Wish
ago,
you would.
hundreds of years ago, there used to be a pact that exists around here called the Phandelver Pact between elves and dwarves. So I kind of use that as some inspiration for this because I think it has a good ring to it. I mean, I'm not saying that we have to change the name of the town to Phandalon, but that's something that can be discussed for the future.
That's great.
Iluna would grin with the cleverness of it all. I love it. I'm sure everyone would no one would have a problem with your change.
Well, if that's the
Seems
case, I'll be there between, I'll be there during the discussions between the people from Phandalin and Griselda and the other council members. So I'll make sure that I said that you said that was a good idea, and because they have a lot of faith in you, they'll probably agree that it is a good idea, and we can rename the town Phandalon, because it sounds like both of them. And I'll make sure. And your name was what was your name?
Iluna.
Well, Iluna, we're in this together, you and me. The starting of the town of Phandalin. And we will say as she starts to like skip
honor.
away, very proud of herself.
Yes. I'll see you around.
Right.
Sadie. Oh, I remembered her name.
And so with that, we will say.
Iluna would head to the tower. But...
Yep. Well, I'll say with that, we'll say you head to the town square to go to the temporary sign-in to meet up with your group, and that's actually where we're going to end it for tonight. Because, like I said, it's fairly late. I think this is a pretty good stopping point. This will allow for Aaron to join for the next session when you guys head up to the House of Thalavar to meet the would-have-been fourth member of the Council of Lylon, Galio Elibro.
Nice.
And
yeah.
I will say at the beginning of next session, me wants to sit down with the entire group and have a discussion with them because he still wants to tell them that because of whatever they did with that dragon egg, we now have the biggest target on our back in existence because I still have the letters and all saying that a beacon's been lit because of that dragon egg.
Well, you guys will have plenty of time to discuss that next time on Dragon Ball Z.
On Phandalin Z.
Long rest level up.
No long rest, no level up.
Phandalion.
Nobody needed the long rest. The only one that's damaged is me.
I thought that the idea was with regards to the paperwork that Iluna or someone, but Iluna said she would do it, would go back up and get it and take it to this wizard so someone else wouldn't have to make the process a little faster.
So that is perfectly fine. If we want to play into that for next session, I'm just going to say, and to give you guys a heads up, there is something that is going to go on at the tower that will lead into small adventures. So whether the group goes up there together or whether Iluna goes up there and then, like finds out something's going on and gets the party, it's up to you guys how you want to play that out. There is just something going on at the tower that getting him to sign it's not just going to be like, oh, hey, I need you to sign this. Oh, cool. Thanks.
Well, I imagine there was more to it, but I did think well, you can take it to Iluna, because that'll probably be faster because we have stuff to do, and that's how I thought it was being said in the beginning. That's all.
Well, like I said, that's perfectly fine. If that's how you guys took it,
But
again, we will play that up next session.
I don't know. I
Sounds
slept through
good.
the whole procedure.
indeed.
Have
Yeah,
a good night, guys.
Night, Hannah.
Ugh,
Make
it
sure
was
you.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop the
fun. Loads
stream
of
there.
roleplay.